Oh, and I apologize about that. Oh, gotta find this. Give me 1 second, guys. There it is. I found it. Had YouTube playing in the background. Anyways, New Pack City, welcome back. It's July 20th, 2021. Thank you for taking some time out of your busy day to kick it with your boys at New Pack City Group. This is your favorite Hawks HoopCast, and we will be getting into it today. I go by Lou Starsky, and we got some great topics as always today to discuss about your Hawks. But first, as always, special thanks to the New Pack City Group. Special thanks to the Originative brand, that's Jamal's brand, Jamal Price, and the Arc Alien Designs, that's Michael A. Smith's brand. And shop.flickwick.com. These are all sponsors of this podcast. Whatever it takes to keep it going. So make sure you go like, share, comment, like again, subscribe, share some more, do all that good stuff. You know how that works. And subscribe to the new channel, and we'll be putting a lot more content out. We got a lot of show ideas that we're trying to work out in the back end, and so we're going to definitely be moving forward, just giving you good content that's directed to Hawks, Atlanta Hawks specifically. And with all that out of the way, let's get the show started. So we got the draft about exactly a week away, on a Thursday, the 29th, and I see the group. Some people are interacting like normal with the draft prospects, and then other people like our very own Damon, who doesn't give a fuck about the draft this year. This year, the draft is not important. It's all about getting players to win a championship. So we'll be discussing that. And I'm not sure if you are familiar, but are aware, but the Milwaukee Bucks have won the NBA championship, and we're going to talk about what the ramifications of that is, of a small market team paying their superstar to stay in, and then them winning, if that'll have any ramifications long lasting in the league. And I'm sure we'll definitely be talking about the draft a little bit. And with all that said, let's welcome in the team members. What's up, Chauncey?
What it do? What it do? What it do? What a fantastic way to end the season last night for the Milwaukee Bucks.
I agree. Mr. Michael, how are you doing? Oh, he's muted. How are you doing?
Great. What's up, fellas? How y'all doing, man?
Hey, what's up there, little bro, Mike? I need you to give me one. I need you to hit me with one good, quick. Man, y'all tripping, man. I need you to say that one time. Man, y'all tripping, man.
And finally, to round out today's beginning is going to be Mr. Chris Royster, host of your very own Around the ATL. He gets exclusive gets, including the likes of John Collins and coaches and anybody else that wants to talk Hawks. How you doing today, Chris?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? Nice afternoon. Kind of rainy down here. I don't know how it is in the ATL right now, but it's a good day to talk about some basketball, though, for sure.
What up there, Chris? Yeah, man. The rain been hitting us off and on here, man. So yeah, we've been getting it.
And I do want to say, real quick, Eddie is trying to get into the show. He looks like he's having a little bit of technical difficulties, but Eddie, I'm seeing you. So whenever you get back there, I got you. You're coming on. But with that, guys, what did y'all think of that game yesterday?
Yeah, I boycotted, man. So y'all talking about it.
I didn't watch a single thing. What I did watch was Giannis's press conference.
Okay.
It was a very strange press conference. The first thing he said, it was like, "Can I get traded now?" And I think he said it as a joke, but foreign people don't have the same delivery.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
I'm gonna say this. He threw a nice jab last night. Especially about the quote unquote super team thing.
Yeah, I did notice that.
he threw a nice jab, and I agree with everything he said. It ain't all that's not the end all be all. You ain't got to create a super team.
It ain't. Yeah. He's talking about the hardest road too. He mentioned that.
Yeah. You know what? It makes you. You know what? It makes you feel that much more better when you was there from the beginning of the grind. Yeah, and they brought in a couple of free agents. Still though, their foundation was Giannis, and Giannis wasn't a lottery pick. Giannis was what he was somewhere mid to late first round.
Mm-hmm.
So but if you just really look at the two guys they brought, well, Middleton been there with them a while, 6 years, and Middleton was a second round pick. I forgot where Drew Holiday was drafted, but these guys wasn't high draft picks.
No, they all worked hard, they all earned their things, and I, even though I didn't watch the contest yesterday, there's a lot of Atlanta ties, not only Bud and Teague, but we did the scouting on Giannis when he was a 6'9" guy. We went over to Greece. We went over there. We kind of had this hidden gem. We bring him over to America, New York, on the day of the draft, only to be snaked by our former coach who had dropped the information to Milwaukee's laps, who happened to pick right before us. So I do want to point that out, that it is a very, very difficult for me to even engage watching Giannis and Milwaukee win a championship. Does that nobody had anything on that?
Yeah, that was.
We know who you're talking about. We don't want to talk. That was a pretty slime. That was a slime move by Larry Drew. I mean, but hey, man, you gotta always be on guard for the unexpected. So if you really want a person, you gotta play chess.
So they should have kept Larry Drews. What you're saying? One more year?
No. What I'm saying is,
they should have traded up.
Being that he was no. Hold on. First of all, let me ask y'all this: was Larry Drews still with the organization when this took place, or was it after he left?
No, he was the coach of he was the new coach of the Milwaukee Bucks, if I'm not mistaken.
Then at that point, then he's the fucking enemy. So you got hey, when somebody become the enemy, hey, all trust factors out the window. So you got to really think ahead of them. Like, so if you want this person, you're gonna have to
trade it up.
Yeah, they should have traded up if they really, really thought. Who did we end up getting that draft? I don't think it was anybody good. I don't even want to look.
Dennis Schroeder, man. I'm telling you.
Okay,
it was the Dennis Schroeder, and Dennis Schroeder wasn't bad for the Hawks. I mean, overall he did his job. The only issue that I had with Dennis Schroeder, here's the issue that I had with Dennis Schroeder. Okay, you came in. The first thing I ain't like is how he demanded to start. So when he demanded to start, naturally we bounced Jeff Teague. Okay, so now that you don't demand to start, I think did the Hawks did he get a contract with the Hawks? Did he ever?
He got a decent sized one, but then they went out and started getting like Dwight and people like that to pair around him.
Okay, and then we all know the back end of the story. Once after we had the 60-win season, if things started to fizzle out, now all of a sudden he don't want to quote rebuild, and really it was his decision to not want to rebuild. That's how we ended up with Trae Young. So I'm kind of happy that little alien motherfucker did that.
And I don't think we properly welcomed Eddie to the show. What's going on, Eddie? Where are you at today? Commanding?
I can't call it, man.
You commanding some shipments out there? What are you doing? Looks like you're in the command center today.
Man, I'm at the crib today, man. I'm been getting some work done to my truck, so y'all ain't gonna hear no traffic and no motors today. But sitting there back in the room chilling, man. How y'all boys doing?
Joe B, tell me something now, big homie.
Did you watch any of that game yesterday?
Big dog? Man, I ain't watched none of the finals, dog. I'm gonna be honest with you. Whenever the Hawks went out,
you're supposed to be the expert in
Look, man, I swear I just couldn't pull myself even.
I couldn't do it.
I couldn't get interested in it, man. I couldn't. You know what I'm saying? I ain't interested in nobody but us.
Me too.
I keep up with what's going on, but as far as me, like just being into it and watching, no.
No, I'm the same.
When I started focusing on the draft.
Yep, same. And that draft is deep, and we'll get into it. I definitely have a bunch of names and a bunch of heights and wingspans, and maybe we can even pull up some clips. And I'm sure next show we'll all, since it's the day before the draft, I'm sure we'll hit up the draft again in more detail. But there are a lot of, I'm gonna put it this way, there are a lot of second-year John Collins that we can get with the 20th pick. There are a lot of players that are John Collins in his second year, a jumper, tall, athletic, there are those players already there at the 20th pick. So if something were to happen with John Collins, we were to move from him, I think we can get somebody that we can all rally behind again with that 20th pick.
Sandro. That's what we've been talking about him the other day. You know what I'm talking about, the big boy.
Oh yeah.
Seton Hall, 6'11" center, play like Tony. You remind me of Tony Kukoc. I looked at him today again. I said, this guy reminds me of somebody that I've seen.
That's exactly who it is.
Just like Tony Kukoc.
That's exactly who it is.
With a better passing ability to me. You know what I'm saying? And what we really need to add to this team is players that offer us something that we don't already have. We got players that do a whole lot of different shit. But we need players on this team that add an element that we don't already possess. And that guy there got something that we ain't got. You know what I'm saying? And for him to be able to be that big and to have the ability, the passing ability and the vision to facilitate the offense from the center position, man, that should be something that will really add an element to this team that can take us over the top, man.
I agree.
Even though they ain't got him, they got him like the 57th prospect. That guy is bad, man.
Yeah, I agree. And those guys always get picked up on rosters and become something too. So just because they get picked later doesn't mean that they're not a force. But there are other players that are even highly touted or higher touted than him that are out there and will be available at 20. So it really just depends on, the thing is like this offseason, we have to coordinate our free agencies, we have to coordinate our re-signings, we have to coordinate our draft pick to win a championship. This can't be, we remove pieces and add other pieces that we have to wait on or anything like that. I agree with Mann that we are in a window now where our moves need to be geared towards winning next year. So if that comes in the draft or if that comes in and moves, I'm ready to see what happens.
Who is that, Chauncey?
Right.
The dude from Georgia Tech.
Right.
You don't want to say it because he knows what will happen.
But it's the same thing with him though. Like y'all saying, like I like bro too, but he's not a 20th pick though.
Yeah, Bro's not a 20th pick.
How come?
No,
not
him. I'm talking about the other person too.
Thing is buffering on my end. Why is that?
I don't know.
It's probably because of your internet connection, then, because he's using some high-tech technology right now.
Man, y'all tripping, man.
Yeah, but y'all said old guy from Seton Hall, he like the 56.
Yeah.
I seen some, all jokes aside, man, I seen some footage on a center. I think he's a foreign dude. Played with Big 12 schools.
Are you talking about Rocco or are you talking about the other guy?
Shit.
There's friends. There's I mean,
like they were saying he was the most dominant guy in college basketball. What I was hearing. You
talking about Luca?
What's his last name?
Lucas was ours is whatever. Garza,
I think that's who it is.
But bro from like Purdue, Michigan, he played one of them. Yeah, Luca Garza, right? Yeah, Luca Garza.
Oh, that's what you talking about, Eddie?
Yeah. That's not who Eddie's talking about. No, that's not who you talking about.
Man. I don't understand how you the evaluator of talent. You look at this guy. We all watch basketball, dog.
I don't know why
like damn near 20, all year round. And when you look at this guy and the fluidity he plays the game with, the length he got, the shooting ability he got, the passing ability he got, how the hell you gonna tell me this guy ain't like 57th?
It's the other side.
Talented player coming out of college.
It's the other side. He doesn't have the instincts defensively to put himself in that first round conversation. If he had any if he had amazing defensive instincts, he would definitely be a top 20 pick because of all the other stuff that he brings. I mean, the thing is like what separates him and Ben Simmons is Ben Simmons adds, like, he loses the shooting, but what he adds is the defense, the stoutness.
And also, man, to add to that, Lou, you know, right now we're in the era of now everybody drafting on upside. You know, everybody drafting on what they think the athlete can do, not what he's done. They drafted on what they think the athlete can do. I think we were victims of when that shit first started.
Right.
That's what happened with the Marvin Williams. We already know what happened with that situation.
And Chauncey,
you know,
let me say this, like, because this is something that I was thinking. If we want our draft pick to have impact next year, we're gonna have to go with one of these defensive guys.
I agree.
If we want that guy to have impact, we're gonna have to go with the defensive guy. There's no way an offensive guy is gonna come in and be a part of what we are doing. The only way a draft pick comes in and does anything if it's one of these Usman Garuba or I see you there, or maybe even a Kai Jones.
He plays defense and plays it well.
See, my thing is like if a Kai Jones falls to us, he's 6'11" and has a crazy wingspan, and he's a project, but he's crazy athletic. He's basically JC his second year.
He's not going to fall to 11, 20th though. Now I'm saying he's not gonna fall to 20th though. I mean that's my opinion.
He's in that conversation. I stopped. I started at the top 10 and went down, and he made that list. So the thing is, like that Zaire kid, he's good. He's a playmaking, shot making kid that plays really good defense. I like him.
I mean that man, he's a small forward, right? Are you talking about from Stanford?
Yeah, he's 6'8", 6'11". He's a wing. We don't really need a wing though. The other kid is these point guards that are stout defensively. Jaden Springer and Deuce McBride, both of them bring a defensive skill that Trey doesn't have. So when he goes to the bench, like Eddie was saying, now we're bringing in somebody that's doing something that we don't really have on our bench.
That's true, but for as what you're saying, I agree with you saying as far as defense goes. I'm not saying they don't need to play defense at all, but I would suggest that they wouldn't necessarily have to be a strictly like a defender type or whatnot. We still missing at that backup point guard the element of basically running an offense, because if we just got a defensive basically only type point guard, to me that's not going to fully help us either, in a sense, because we need somebody who can run the offense when Trey is sitting down.
Falling to us is Jared Butler, but he's got that heart condition. But I get CP3 vibes off of him when I watch him on the team.
Yeah, he got cleared.
They said he's been cleared. So
he got cleared.
But this doesn't mean he'll get picked. So because there's still a risk there. But I mean, for real, he shot 44% from three. And he can give you steals. I mean, you saw what he did in national championship. So
he's a champion.
I would say, he would be someone you'd have to really think about, just because he can run a team, and he can do the things that it would be almost not seamless, of course, but it wouldn't. Last year it wasn't like the last 2 years where, I don't know if you've seen the Supreme Dreams meme where his best player come off the court and you're down by 30. That's what we were the last 2 seasons when Trey come off the court. This past season, it wasn't as bad, but it was still, you have a gap. And someone like Butler would close that gap big time, because not only can he run the offense and make sure everything is going right, but when it comes to it, he can get his own shot and he can shoot. He would be a really good. I mean, he'd be a great pickup if we were able to pull him off and get him in the draft. So
no, I agree, and he's got the best shot mechanics that I've seen in this draft. And there's some good shooters, but he's also a good off-ball shooter. So, and he's 6'3" with a 6'5" wingspan and plays defense. So if it's that situation where they try to run like they did with Lou and Trey during the third quarter, sometimes when they're changing over, Jared Butler wouldn't, in his second year, he's going to be deadly in that position, because he can also play off ball that I don't have confidence that Trey can. Jared Butler proves that he's a better shooter as a catch and shoot guy. which is astonishing.
Now here I go. I'm gonna be the buzzkill on this. As I told y'all, I'm not real strong with the college, with the college evaluating talent stuff. I'm not real strong. But one thing that stick out to me, and that heart condition. Yes, I heard Chris say he's been cleared to play. That heart condition scares me.
Yep.
And I mean, maybe I'm a little scarred. And when I said scarred, because I was actually watching that conference tournament game when Hank Gathers fell out on the court.
Oh wow.
That was one of the worst moments in sports history. To actually see a man die on the court. And I'm just
Is it a similar heart condition, Chauncey?
I forget exactly, but I think Gathers he was on some heart medicine, but the medicine made him sluggish. So what he did before the game is he went out on the track and he ran some sprints, and he did some sprints, and he kind of got his heart.
Okay.
He had to run off some of that medicine, and then when he got in the game, his heart just quit on him.
I will say this though, Chauncey, that there's a lot better technology, there's a lot better monitoring, there's a lot better understanding than there was when Hank Gathers was playing. But I do totally agree. Like that's just something that you will not. It's not like a knee where it has a scope. It has like you're hurt, you're B level for 2 years, and then you can get back to, or if not stronger by that third year. Like that's you understand that injury, like a health thing, like a heart thing like this, it could literally come out at any time, and then you're just done. It doesn't matter how healthy you are. I mean, Chris Bosh could have played a little longer. He had something wrong with his rhythm, right?
Yeah, he had I think some blood thinners or something like that, didn't he?
Yeah, it was something, but it's a similar thing where if it's related to that cardiovascular system, that there's nothing that the NBA can do about it, and that's why they screen for it.
It just just the fact that he condition.
What I want to know, what's the clearing process go? What did Jared Butler have to go through to get cleared?
I have no idea.
That's what I want to know. But anyways, so the other thing is if we don't get defense, the other thing is we can get shooters, and there are some shooters in this draft. There's a guy that could go anywhere from top 10 all the way down to 20, and that's Corey Kispert. What do y'all think of that kid? He's 6'7".
Who's that again? Repeat it.
Corey Kispert. He has a funky looking shot, but he's effective with it.
I honestly, I just want to go. If we keep the 20th pick, I'm pretty much sold on going guard, finding us one of those strictly guards, somebody who can run the offense. I mean, whether we keep them or whatever it is, that's that. I mean, I know it's a lot of other like kind of tweeners there, but I mean, of course, we all see we don't need for like on a tweeners or a forward or something like that. I mean, that'd be a dead giveaway to me that we're not keeping the pick. I mean, that'd be my opinion. But I for the most part, I just looked at like really strictly like guards, whether they're just like offensive ones or something like that. I mean, I even see somewhere that it's a chance that Highland Bones might, Bones Highland can, probably fall to that 20th pick or something like that. Trey Mann goes later to us. An interesting thing to me is the New York Knicks. They like sandwich us basically. I mean, the pick after us don't too much matter, but that pick before us, I think is kind of big because they're looking for a guard and they're gonna go guard. So I think we probably
take Mike, because I actually have that on my list. I have New York picks in front of us and behind us. And the other thing that I have is
my bad, Lou, for the show though. Where our comments at, man? People saying stuff.
Right. Oh yeah, they are. My bad, y'all. I I was stuck on the other screen, and there's a bunch of y'all saying shit. I apologize, and we'll get through it. It was my bad. I definitely partook with the Flickwick here earlier, so that was definitely on me. We'll start getting through. We'll start rolling through them here in a second. But I do want to say on your thing is not only does the New York Knicks sandwich our pick, but OKC picks a bunch of times before us too, and I think that's going to have an impact on what's going to be available for us because like having the same team be able to take from the same pool, that they can pull different high level positions, So not only do the Knicks pick in front of us and behind us, I think that's going to affect, but I also think OKC having this many picks in the draft could affect us too. What do you think of that?
I mean, that's possible. That's definitely possible. But I don't, with that many picks, I don't think they, even have all of those come, I guess, draft time or whatever. Like, I think you're gonna hear OKC traded this pick or whatever, kind of often.
What about the guy from Oregon? He's 24 years old, Chris Durante, I think is pronounced. 17 a game. In the tournament, they only played 2 games, but in those games, he also got 6.5 assists a game. So you can see he can pass a little bit. And he shot 42% from 3 too. So he comes in like ready to go as well.
Yeah. He's 24 years old, so he's not like young. But that's another type of player that's like, I would be concerned either, he's projected anywhere between like us and like maybe 15 or something like that. After 10 though, but like I'd be concerned, okay, maybe New York grab him right there at 19 before we get to 20. And they're like, oh dang, then you're looking at, like I said, it's a lot of around the same type of level guards, I feel like, in the area. And we might, just go best available in the sense that moment.
Do you think we really need it? Do you think a guard? Because I don't know, man. When I see a guy like Isaiah Todd, who's 6'10", 7 wingspan, power forward, stretch 4, I think if we're about to lose JC somehow, then I think that would be something to pick up. So that's why.
Well, you got to remember, it's a combination of a couple of things. You're talking about, we don't know what we're going to do in free agency yet either. You got Derrick Rose out there, maybe TJ McConnell out there as far as the point guard part, Enes Kanter on the center side, Drummond, Cousins, where you don't want people to be moving you out the post. Those guys can't get moved out. Howard, too, you got to think about it. Charles Bassey, as far as back in the draft from Western Kentucky, gets you 17 and 11. They say he got a high motor. He's a 7'3" wingspan.
You stole my thunder, man. I'm trying to wait till we get to the second round, man. But no, that's who I want at the 48th pick or whatever. We get him. That's what I was gonna say, Lou. It's like I see quality bigs with our 48th pick, so it's no need for me to take one. Like, to the point where I look at them, they look the same as the boy from Texas, you know what I'm saying, Kai Jones or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I feel like we can get that later on. So it's like, I don't see the same type of guard potential later on though, but it's some bigs out there, man. I mean, even the guy that y'all mentioned, or Eddie and stuff, he love to. I like too, to remind him of Tony Kukoc. He's a late pick, even who Chauncey like or whatever, he's not projected high, so it's like you can get some bigs late.
And I still want to see what Knight and Skylar can do too. I mean, I think give them some minutes of some sort, because again, depending on what happens or whatnot, I believe they can still be valuable on this roster. And Mays, he's aggressive and he can shoot, and Knight gives you all the energy in the world, and we know what he can do when he's given serious minutes. So
I agree. 6'11", right? 6'10", 6'11". He has height, and y'all know my theory about showing glimpses of who you are. Everybody don't understand that though, but look at Knight early footage of him though. He showed glimpses and ability to do certain things. Now it's just a matter of him doing it on a pro level now, but you look at him in college level, whatever, you see the big, like I mean, again, that's the way I look at players. So to go to who the Western Kentucky guy, since Chris brought him up or whatever, I like the guy. If you guys haven't seen him, look at him. He can hit the trailer 3. He's a great finisher, defender, average about 3 blocks a game, a little over that. I'm like, well, I don't know why he's so late, but hey,
let me ask y'all something.
Would be perfect.
Let me ask y'all something. What are y'all hearing? Is there anybody that we kind of stuck on, or we kind of like, where it's a possibility we be willing to make a move up for? Is there anybody? What are y'all hearing? Because I don't know.
I don't
think it's no need.
I don't think we're gonna have to do
that.
We
may add another pick from last. We may maybe swap a pick from last year or from next year to this year, but I don't think we would try to move up.
Okay, so it ain't that. I mean, every just about every year, it'd be a a guy that you'd be like, you know
And
what?
only because there are so many good players out of this draft. I think if this was a different draft, maybe you'd go for somebody. But there's a lot of players you can fit whatever your needs are this year. This is a draft where you can really pick and choose and be like, we're going to get somebody that can fit this particular hole this year and not have to move up and take picks from 2 years from now or whatever and all that jibber jabber. I don't think you got to do that this year.
Yeah, the reason I asked that because Mike just said, you know, the talent pool is kind of deep in one position, but it's not that deep in another position. So, and if that's in that position that the talent pool is not that deep, are we willing to make a move to go get a certain type of player to fit our needs?
Can I touch on that then, Chauncey, real quick? To clear that up, then I'll say the bigs I see, it runs deeper than say the guards. Now, as far as that first round goes or whatnot, though,
Tier 1, you mean?
That first round, it's a lot of guards in that first round. To where now, if I don't know, we haven't heard anything of anybody that the franchise just love. I mean, of course, that's the case with. I feel like any year, if you just absolutely love somebody, you should go get them. But I feel like, say for example, it's like five guards, point guard or shooting guard, or can do like both or whatever, that can be there at 20. New York probably take one. So you got 4 of them right there. I'm just saying that you're gonna need to go ahead and take out of that pool versus like trying to wait on the back end, because it's gonna get for guard play. I feel like it gets lesser versus like bigs, because I'm seeing bigs that's like projected late that look great to me.
Okay, there's no projects, right? There's no chance that if Jalen Johnson falls to us, we're going after him, right? Like, there's no chance of us taking a project on, right?
Only because we already got Knight. You know what I'm saying? If anything, I don't think you pile that on. And because of, I don't know who it was. It might have been Lou or Michael. We were 2 games away from the finals. We don't have that. This is not the year to have that kind of leeway anymore. We're that top tier team now. Right. So I don't think we can afford to just be waiting on when we already have people, especially like with Clint, he signed, and whatever happens with John Collins. I don't think we're at that point now. I think we're talking about moving ahead and saying, if we get this person and this person, we're going to be in the finals and sweep the finals. You see what I'm saying? I don't think we're going to be going after any projects. I just don't think. Yeah. I mean, I might be wrong.
And Chris, with that said, like bringing in these picks this year for Skylar and Knight, I like it because that's going to add competition in the background, and we don't have to deal with like bringing anybody that's subpar on the team at all. You know,
I like Skylar Mays, man.
I do, but only if he can beat out a first round pick or a second round pick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He has to get his chance to do it, though.
Yeah, I like Skylar Mays just for what Chris said. I think if he get a chance, you know, I need to see.
He wasn't timid. I like that.
We need to see what goes on out the summer league, of course. But here's my thing. I heard y'all talk about the Jared Butler kid from Baylor. I've heard a lot about him. I didn't watch none of the NCAA. After Tech got put out, I'm kind of like Eddie. I didn't give a shit anymore. But
and Eddie is still trying, by the way, guys.
Let's say, okay, who drafted in front of us? Then you said
New
the
York.
Knicks. Let's say we get wind that New York wants Butler. We get wind of it, through the grapevine, and we really want him. Has Chris Dunn picked up his option yet?
No, that can't happen until after the draft.
And see, that's what I'm saying. With like where the free agent, I wish they would switch it around. Of course, it sticks you where it's almost like rolling the dice a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So
they need to switch that around because in
the
case where Dunn has picked up his option, we could swap picks.
That's the whole point because what it does is it doesn't allow the other teams to know who you're probably going to draft, so it makes the draft more crazy.
But I'm gonna go a little different from y'all. I think that since at that position, we're so young at that position. I really would rather go a solid veteran behind Trae at that position. That's my take.
And I
So
think
who are you thinking though? Like who comes to mind? Some names.
I've always
Chris Paul?
I've always said Derrick Rose,
Yeah.
but I'm open. But I'm open to the.
Those would be terrible for this team. First of all, and he's not going to leave New York.
You know, I'm just.
I don't know about that. I think he would.
You know, I'm a guy that I'm kind of a black and white guy. I go off what he did in the playoffs. what he did for New York in the playoffs, and I keep alluding to this. If Derrick Rose can give us half of the Derrick Rose that he gave the Knicks, that's all we.
And we wouldn't have to play half the minutes he played either.
Like
with the Knicks.
Yeah, but
But
you know what though? I'm cool with them other cats too. I like TJ McConnell. You know, we just need.
I don't like Austin Rivers.
No.
Yeah, well, but
I don't like him.
But I'd rather go veteran behind Trey and probably go. Even though I've been screaming for a veteran big, if you're gonna go young, behind. First of all,
remember, if Dunn and depending on what happens with Goody, we can get a veteran and a rookie. So
we can do both positions. We can draft. We can keep 20th and 48. Go point guard and big. Have two rookies coming in. Go to summer league. Go to training camp, and you still have money. Keeping John Collins, you still go at $12 million. You can get a backup point guard. And we seen a backup big like Canner was only 5. Shoot, Dwight Howard was like 1.5 or whatever. You got enough.
Andre Drummond is like $15,000. So I'm just saying.
And we don't have to think like fans, and we can think 3D and not just think of next year, and also set ourselves up for a couple of years. You know
I get it. When I looked at the free agent list yesterday, I seen Hassan Whiteside.
Yeah,
I would love him
at the right price.
Backup, I wouldn't mind. Honestly,
I just don't trust him. I look at him, and what's old boy who used to play for the Lakers, who won those 2 championships, and then went to start bowling, and we never heard from him again.
Andrew Bynum or something.
Yes, Bynum. He has Andrew Bynum written all over him, and I just don't think
you want to take Bynum as a backup, though.
let me throw some more names out and see if any of these
he wants to play.
Let me throw some names out. And Chauncey, let me actually tell you, this is a funny little thing. Chauncey, you may appreciate this, but as I was doing a lot of these research, I had to watch a lot of the G League Ignite team. And guess who I saw on that damn team?
Who was that?
Jared Jack is out there balling his ass off.
Jared Jack's still available.
He's playing in G League. I don't know why or how, but he plays in the G League. That's the same team Jalen Green on.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, is that Jared Jack? Because I love basketball, and that was the highlight of my Georgia Tech watching.
That's a guy who really loved the game, because guess what? If I had done what I've done in the NBA, I would have been cool with. Hey, once my time is up, I would have been cool with it, because Jared Jack, like he was no low-level player. Jared Jack he performed at a decent level in NBA, and for him to humble himself at his age and play.
You can tell he loves playing with these kids too, man. And I'm sure he's made an impact on these.
Give him 15 minutes a game, doggone it.
He's basically being a coach.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is like he's probably teaching these kids. He's probably the Lou Williams, the Solo, Solomon Hill of all these kids, not little kids, but all these young players that are now high-level prospects. He was on that team with them. He was teaching them how to do it. And I bet you
I wanted Jared Jack here 4 years ago, and they never pulled the trigger.
You know what?
To be real though,
hold on, y'all. I got to make a confession to Lou, and it's killing me to do it.
He don't like Georgia Tech.
No, I know the last couple of weeks, we've been going back and forth about Moses Wright, and I think it was you who said he's really y'all kept relating it to Nathan Knight, and boy, when I went and pulled up, his draft his draft status and what they're talking about, the Hulk that they compared him to was Nathan Knight. I said, oh my fucking God. I said, man, I gotta fucking humble myself. They compared him to Nathan Knight, man. I'm like,
That's funny. And I'll tell you another thing is Mike brought up Nathan Knight, and this is a good thing for people to do, is to go look at his prospect highlights and see what the NBA scouts were looking at then, and then now know what he projected into the NBA. So when you're looking at these prospects, at least you have something to compare to. I think that's a good one to start at. What do you think, Mike? No, he wasn't.
Before
Anyways,
Nathan Knight say, I'm trying to respond to other stuff and everything too.
Yeah.
At the same time, man,
I got a question. Does schools play a factor in the prospect that you're going at? Because I say that to say this is that Villanova has become role player U. All these players that are coming in from Villanova are all finding roles in the NBA. However, they're doing it. So does that entice you to pick a player over another one?
I believe it does in all sports in a sense. It plays a part into what program you come from. I mean, that's my belief. You know what I'm saying? I believe that it's a notion that coaches know that, yeah, you're going to be a certain type of player coming from certain type of programs. I mean, yeah, they're going to do their due diligence and look at a player all the way around, but that is probably a small factor into something. I mean, I doubt that plays in. I don't know how much they might weigh it, but I do believe that plays a part into like every sport. I know it does in like maybe football or this and that, because an offense too is ran from a certain program, so this kid might be accustomed to something like that and everything coming out. So like I said, it plays a part in my opinion. So school, I know that I think he's been there for a while. I mean, like DeAndre Hunter coming out of Virginia. You got like Mike Scott, DeAndre Hunter, Malcolm Brogdon, I think went there, right? I think it's a kid that's projecting first round is coming out of Virginia. I'm pretty sure that's considered for him, the program he's coming out of.
We like them ACC guys now.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. You see, Chauncey throwing in ACC. If that's supposedly the top conference or this and that, you know what I'm saying? So you understand that they are at a certain level of play and everything. So that's why Nathan Knight don't get drafted. but yeah.
Well, okay, so I got a long list of these guys' names, and one guy that seems to be falling, and now we might be able to talk about, but it's an interesting position because it's not one that's really defined on our team, and that's shooting guard. And Moses Moody is falling down the ranks, and he's 6'6", 7 foot wingspan, shooting guard, can shoot, defensive is solid, but he's fallen. Would y'all take a shooting guard? Like a shooting guard's not one that's really mentioned in our conversations.
I don't think that between Bogey and Cam, and then even Kevin Hurd, I don't think we really need a shooting guard.
And we got Skylar.
I don't think that's a pressing need for us. And you got Skylar.
Skylar, man, I don't think we need to go there as shooting guard. I mean, because I really like
a wasted pick.
I can agree.
I will only take a shooting guard if he's supposedly a shooting guard. It's like literally he's a playmaking, passing type of one, in a sense, like when you look at him, like, oh no, he can run the point, but he's just a big body in a sense. But because that's what we need, man. I mean, we all know that we need somebody who can run the offense. I mean, whether it's veteran, whatever the age they are, we need somebody to run the offense, and it's not that much of a miss from when Trey get off the floor.
Well, one of the guys I put on the copy was Trey Murphy. And he came, speaking of institutions, he came from Virginia, and they seem to be putting in NBA players as well. And I just want to read these to you. He can defend the 2 through 4. He's a 3-and-D guy, and his shooting numbers last year.
I'll be back. Y'all.
Sure, his shooting numbers were 50, 40, and 90. What do y'all think of somebody like Trey Murphy?
I like Trey Murphy. I mean, he in that group of what I'm talking about of like a little pack of guards that we can kind of just sit at 20 and kind of choose from. I mean, he's one of those 5 to whatever. I mean, it's a decent little.
I don't know if I'd pick him before Butler. If it came down to it, I'm trying to go get Butler first. I mean, it's one of those deals where, like you said, New York is picking ahead of us. We don't want them to get him. Okay, we got to figure that one out. But like I said, with just free agency and it being impending, and us not knowing like who would be gravitating to want to come to the Hawks. Like, you can't make but so many, I guess, failures out there before it's time that where you can actually legally, I guess, how that works out or whatnot. I mean, like I said, this is one of those deals where it's like your best case scenarios. Yeah, we would love to get, Derrick Rose up in here. We would love to get this big in here or whatnot. Then that would encapsulate who we would end up drafting. But since you got to do it vice versa, it's like, who is the best player at that position in case you can't get your guy in free agency? You know what I'm saying? Because remember, we're also going to be getting better because we're getting healthy too. Cam and Hunter are coming back. So that fixes a lot. So, that kind of even hides a little bit if we don't get exactly who we want to back up Trey. As long as we get the extra big that we know we need, I think we're still going to be pretty good. But I would prefer to get everything that we need, just because I'm being greedy and I don't want to lose a game in the finals next year. That's just me.
Well, Chris, I want to keep you right there on the hot seat real quick. I'm thinking this comment was about Moses Moody. So if Moses Moody was his high-ranked player and then he falls to us at 20, that was the question is like, do you take him because he's the best available or do you just keep with your plan?
If he falls, remember too, Travis also has said that like a billion times now at this point going into, because remember, for the most part, do we ever think we're ever going to be in the top 5 in draft over the next 15 years? Probably not, right? So wherever we end up falling in the draft, it is always going to be primarily whoever is that best player at that pick. So I think if he falls there and he's the guy that fits at least one of those needs, yeah, you'd pick him.
Okay. And then I do want to get down to here. There was another one. I think that was just about the defense. Yeah, so I guess it was more about Trey Murphy. So if Trey Murphy's there, he is 6'9". That's what I wanted to do. I did want to confirm that. Yeah, Trey Murphy is 6'9". Okay. Yeah, and he has I think a really long wingspan. Let me look. Yeah, he has a 7'1" wingspan, guards positions 2 through 4 easily. And like I said, the 50, 40, 90 numbers are ridiculous for college kids.
You can't snuff that out. But again, I think in our case, from what if Trey doesn't get hurt, none of that really matters. But since he did get hurt, you know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, the middle of that paint all of a sudden became a weakness. And I think we do have to be able to, when we're coming off the bench and we're putting somebody in there, we need to not be able to drop off that much.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we got plenty of shooting. We still got, unless we trade everybody in the world, we still got Gallo on the team. We still got all these other shooters on the team. The scoring part is not where I'm going to be concerned. It's going to be a matter of, can we stop people when we need to? Can we get that rebound? Can we put our foot in the dirt and not be moved out the way?
Right.
Now we know that this offseason people are going to put on some weight. We already know who we're talking about. Cam a little bit, John a little bit, whatever. But even technique wise, we're going to have a whole offseason with Nate implementing defense.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We're going to have a whole offseason with offense, too. Some of the offensive sets are going to be different because we have players who need to be touching the ball more in the paint. We need to be having some more screens. We don't screen that well as a team. We just don't. We have shooters, though, to take advantage of screeners if we did it. So I think a lot of stuff is going to be fixed. One, just having an off season to actually have an off season. I think that takes care of a lot right there.
Right. And Damon. Hey, so with that said, and what Dave is saying here, because I have some specific comments here I want y'all to hit up. They're actually asking specifically for y'all's answers. But
that's what I was going to ask if you can.
So the first one is this Hawks need more size. There's a guy named Nemus Quetta who is a huge dude. He's like 7 foot tall, 7 foot wingspan guy. He's definitely available big late. Would that be something that interests y'all? And then the other thing
that's my second one, Lou, or whatnot. After Bassey or whatever. But that's why I said what I said about the 48th pick.
Yeah, Charles Bassey is a nice pickup too. And then what do y'all think about Josh Giddey? He's now starting to play in Australia. He played pretty decently yesterday.
He's not going to be there at 20.
I don't think
that's a good player, but he's not going to drop down 20. I mean, we're trying to look at basically who we can realistically get. I don't believe he's going to drop to 20. That's just my opinion.
I don't think so either.
I agree with that. And the only player that I hope we don't get is that BJ Boston kid, just because he looks funny.
I was just wanting to talk on Trey Murphy though. I was going to say that Trey Murphy, I feel like especially with having a John Collins and DeAndre Hunter and stuff like that, and then Cam's kind of he's been the longest out of what though. I feel like we okay on the Trey Murphy. I don't think he like again at that 20th pick. I prefer the person to be literally they have to be a playmaker. I ain't saying they got to be short necessarily. Hell, he could be 7 feet, but it needs to be a ball handling playmaker or whatever. And I don't think that that guy is that. You know what I'm saying? Even though he can do all those other things or whatever. We can get a real big, like you're talking about later on. Who that, Luke?
What do you think of this comment?
Capella better not come back next year with that flick it free throw shot.
Oh,
I mean, he probably will. Get ready.
I thought he was asking you.
What was another one?
No, that was the one. I thought he was asking a different question, but yeah. So there's definitely a lot of players out there, but there's also this kid out there. He's a 6'5" shooter, and this kid shoots so fast, and he's the funniest looking shooter. But that shit is legit. And his name is Mitch Ballack or Ballack. Have y'all seen this guy at all? Has he come up in y'all's board? He's a lefty. His shot is so fast, it's ridiculous. But they project him out to be like a Joe Harris type of guy. Is that something that interests you? Just getting a straight up shooter, and he shoots from all different levels too. He can shoot coming from both ways.
Bro, we deep as hell, man.
I would just be concerned if we were to pick up I mean, it'd be different if we didn't have Hunter and Cam coming back. You already didn't have Red Mamba on the team. You have Bogey on the team. You got Gallo on the team. You got Lou on the team because Lou says he wants to come back too. If one of those guys all of a sudden wasn't here, then I could see it possibly. But with all those guys, if we don't mess up our depth, I just don't think another shooter is going to help us as much as we need a point guard that can run an offense and a big man. I think those are our main needs, whether we get them through the draft or free agency or both. I think those are our concentrations. Another shooter is almost as if that's almost like getting another small forward, which we do not need. This is the year we don't need to see a small forward get drafted by the Atlanta Hawks. That's not a need.
I really think we saw enough shooting in the playoffs.
Bro, no more shooting, man. No more shooting.
So.
I want a big guy.
No more shooting, bro. Pull up the Massey highlights, man. I need you to just run those while we talk or something, so the people can see him. Man.
I can put some up, and I will have to take a little break at 1:45, but I can come back and let y'all just keep rolling. But one real quick, the Roko Pekrichin, the 6'8" dude from overseas. 7-foot wingspan. He's a scorer, pick and roll guy. Have y'all heard about any? He'll definitely be available in the.
What's his name again?
Roko Kitchen. Come on, you put me on the spot like that, dog.
I can't spell that one.
So it's PRKACIN.
You out there dumpster diving for tax?
Oh, I found him. Croatia.
Lou be fighting.
I've seen him before.
No, hey, Lou be
good, dude.
You be hunting for them boys, dog.
He's good.
Lou be like, yeah, I found this guy.
He's 18 years old, so he'll be that proverbial project player.
Rodriguez down in Mexico, man. He's 5'5", got a 7-foot wingspan.
I like watching good basketball. And you know what? It's a credit to the YouTube community who puts these packages together. They pretty much have anybody you want to go look up. They got packaged for them. You want to go look up, Lou Dort when he was in high school? They got that shit. Go find it.
All you gotta do is get on Ball is Life. You see all them cats in high school, man.
Ball is life.
He gives you 13 a game.
I've been on Ball is Life since it first started, man. You just see all them young boys.
I'm about to say that same with me. That's Ball is life.
Yep, Ball is Life, man. You can see them. You see them in high school in real time.
You see it real time. Yeah, nah, you see them boy. And yeah, like I said, you'll see. Nah, I ain't even gonna go down that road.
I know what you're gonna say. You'll see them have them skills in high school that they're gonna have, and that's gonna carry on into the NBA, and they probably gonna be a scrub. Listen,
okay? Well, no, ain't nobody said probably be a scrub. Now you throwing all that in there. We leaving the fact of what I'm saying. That part. Now, as far as greatness and all that, that's debatable. They can grow into whatever. But as far as who they are, their makeup, bro, like it's there, man. It's there.
Mike, don't tell me. Don't tell me.
I understand what you're saying.
Man, you tripping, bro.
Hey, hold on, guys. Hey, guys, let me get this back on track about the draft. Hold on. This guy, Dave, from YouTube, thanks out there for watching. The Hawks need a back to the basket presence, and I'm hoping Onyeka can develop that. I haven't seen that much from it. I definitely have more hopes from Onyeka than I do John Collins, but that's what I think the Hawks desperately need to get further than we did this year in the playoffs. We need a reliable back to the basket scorer.
John needs to get more touches back to the basket.
Come on, man. That's the great debate right there. Then I'm gonna go ahead and put y'all on between you and Mike because John Collins ain't got that.
I think he does. I've seen him do it before. He's gotten it before. It's just not consistent.
If he gets more touches, our efficiency goes way down. That's what I'm thinking.
Lou, how you gonna say that?
I don't believe that because again, over the years, there's been times. I mean, I was at one game, the Dallas game from a year ago before the pandemic shut everything down, and in that particular game, they got him touches down below. I don't know who he was playing, but he plays Dallas well anyway. So whoever it was, it didn't matter. He was killing them. So that's all. My thing is sometimes it is matchups, but it is a matter of the offense has to actually say we're going to play below the basketball, and our offense up till now has not been geared towards that for the last couple of years. And remember, Lloyd Pierce didn't want John Collins in the offense at all. We already know that. So there's that part too. So at the end of the day, with a whole off season, with an implementation of what Nate wants to do offensively, I believe John right now on the roster he's our best because it ain't going to be Clint. We know that for a fact, right? So
question real quick then. So what if it don't happen next season and is what I mean, would that mean that Nate doesn't want it in his offense then? Or then would it mean like that it's just not necessarily there to the point that we can depend on?
If Nate don't want him in the offense, he's not gonna get signed in offseason. He's not gonna get signed. We're gonna let him walk.
Well, I don't believe that would be the case right now. That's not going to determine the case right now. Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah,
he ain't been here long enough for all of that.
That's not what he's saying. He's saying
somebody busted my balls.
You know how when Lloyd Pierce was the coach, he told Collins to add a 3-point shot to his game. Because that's how
told him that too.
Yeah, that's how he was going.
In the last 2 seasons, he shot 39% from three.
And that's how
nobody denying that.
That's how Lloyd Pierce wanted to use Collins. Now you can go back when Collins supposedly complained about getting those touches.
I want to talk about this.
You see what I'm saying? So it all kind of.
So
if Nate McMillan said, you know what, I want Collins, I want you to develop or improve your back to the basket game because we're going to play below the free throw line. You know what I'm saying?
Because you've seen him hit the baby hook. You've seen him hit the turnaround jumper. You've seen him take the ball, straighten up, hit the jumper right off the bat.
I know that. That's what I be talking. I'm gonna touch on it real quick, Lou. But I don't bring this part up either, though. But that is a part that's kind of JC's physical makeup that kind of holds him back. Now I agree, and I try my best to shine light on his great attributes, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. A lot of it just comes into debate. It's like, well, then if it's that great as that, I'm just throwing in the question, like, if it's somewhat the peak of who he is, now he continues his path. It's a long career now, but dude, it just come up the question about the max stuff or whatever, though. But it's a player that you want at the end of the day. You want this player on your team. I'm not denying that. You're right. He shoots great and everything, but I show high school highlights, on like a Damon post or whatever. Everything that JC is doing, he's been doing that. You know what I'm saying? He's a catch and finish type guy. Now that's his success. When he gets in, he makes the quick move. It's the turnaround shots. You understand what I'm saying? The improvement that we need from JC is not the turnaround part because he always had the turnaround, the quick kind of shoot, mid-range shot. He had that in high school. So in college or whatever, it wasn't as much there. And he finished it a lot better, but then and so he's just getting more sharper with that, which is fine, which is, all that is good. But what the person was bringing up as far as like the short arms and stuff like that and everything like that, it does kind of come into play, even when it comes with when you see it, when JC, when it's his strongest move being the turnaround is going against someone who is equal height or taller. That's where the lack of like really like kind of post skills of the up and under and step through or even the shorter arms come into kind of affecting him. Now I wanted to get back into the draft because we can go all day about this though. But the kid that you brought up, the second one was Quetta or whatnot. He's like 7 feet. Now I do see potential for him at the post or whatever. I do like him at 48. He has the hook shot on the block or whatever, which is good because it's because it comes in great play for him because he's tall as I don't know what, and he's already showing the ability to pass out of that post. And I kind of like that potential seeing them there or whatever. So as far as the team that we need, we still got John Collins, we still got Clint. I think outside of if we was to miss on Bassey or something like that, because I really like him, Charles Bassey or whatever, getting the other kid that you brought up, Quetta or whatnot. But he's also 3 blocks a game over that or whatever.
Here's another one, Mike. Huh? Here's another one. Jericho Sims.
Jericho Sims.
Yeah. Have you seen?
I gotta dive into that one too.
Man, where you finding these dudes?
Jericho. Listen to this. 6'10".
We only got so many picks, bro.
He's 6'10", 7'4" wingspan.
What college he went
great
to?
athlete. I don't know. I can look him up. Give me a second.
I'm about to look him up right now, man. Cause you finding bums, bro. Jericho.
See, that's why I try to get back to the draft, man. Because you see comments, everybody, we get on JC or whatnot. That's gonna be the whole thing.
I know, but I backed everybody up. I put JC in the topics. He's up there. So if we got, I figured we would get into him a little bit because our draft centers around him. Like it would make no sense to draft another big man if we know we're going to keep him. But it also makes, you know what I'm saying?
No, I think you still again, we're talking about the strength of our team.
I'm talking about the first pick. Let me clarify.
Yeah, not with 20. Not with 20. And then also too, I want the second round pick to be a big like Bassey. He's 6'11". Jericho, you know what I'm saying? And he plays big, and then too, he's a defender. That's over 3 blocks a game. That's gonna translate to
11 boards, 3 blocks. You can't. That's why I mentioned him when I did earlier. Like you can't ignore that. Like.
Yeah, let me share this with you guys.
And he's a great rim runner. Can catch the oops, standing flat-footed at the goal from the quote-unquote dunker position. He can hit the trailer 3 when he's falling behind or whatever. He can hit the 3. Oh, this guy who hit his head on the rim and stuff like that. He's just a jumper, in my opinion, man.
Who, this guy?
Yeah. He's a leaper more so than anything, in my opinion.
I'm watching them playing in the Big 12 championship, man. Dude,
No, they center is the guy who going top 10. What, K Jones, whatever, Kai Jones, whatever his name. That's the one from Texas. Move.
Well, no, they say he might even be available with us.
Oh, you talking about? But that's first round. This guy, we talking about second rounder, right?
Yeah, with him.
Yeah,
he's the second rounder.
But that's what I'm saying. I like the other 2 guys better. That's in my opinion. I like the other 2 guys better.
All right.
Chris named, and then the other guy that you named too. He was on who I was looking at too.
Yeah, he had a second round pick. Yep. Joe Jericho, he has second round.
And then after Bassey or whatever, you can run the other guy Quetta or whatnot, so they can see a little bit of Quetta. But
yeah, I'll do Quetta too. This is the Western Kentucky kid, so he's 6'11", 7'3" wingspan,
260 as well. So he got a little weight to him too. He ain't no 220 or anything,
Exactly.
That's because he probably fat.
Well,
that's young Demond get him in the gym.
Whatever you gotta do to stay where you can't get pushed out the court.
He's probably fat. That means he probably the last one down the court.
No, whatever. No, bro.
Don't look like the last one down the court there.
I said rim runner. Rim runner mean that he beating folks down to the rim.
No, he about to rim run
to front of the rim.
He gonna rim run.
Y'all gotta understand something about Demond. If he ain't heard of him, he's a bum.
I know.
Exactly. Y'all already know about Demond.
He'll make a post later making up for it. Like, oh man, boy, this guy here.
Realistically, does the 20th pick play this year?
Hell no, in the blowout.
If we pick right, we do right.
If it's a point guard, he might play though. Shit.
Yeah, back up.
If he a point guard, he gonna get some playing time.
Any first round pick should play.
I like
not on a winning team. They don't play.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. We're looking at the Eastern Conference Finals again. So
if you a winning team,
I don't know. This year is a little different than it was in the past. You know what I'm saying?
I'm about to say, y'all see this highlights though. He got a little handling.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, taking the ball from one side of the court to the other and finishing.
I only had 2 people on board. That's one of them right there. So
it's safe to say.
Me and Chris agree. I'm telling you, this is the pick, man.
Listen, man, it's safe to say that wherever you draft, you're drafting a need. So
exactly.
Your first round pick is a need. So if he's a need, there's no way he shouldn't play, whether we contending for a championship or not.
No,
not true. Not true.
You drafting a need.
You don't always draft a need. Travis say he don't never draft a need. Or is he lying?
If you drafting what we drafted on Yeka, you draft the best player available more than likely. But if you drafted around 20, 9 times out of 10, you drafting a need.
When you draft around 20, you really just getting a prospect. You really hope they're gonna make a. You really hope they're gonna make a contribution to the team.
Well, that's your second round pick, really, truthfully. Because think about our last 3 19 or 20 draft picks. They're either in the starting lineup or getting major minutes on our team now. So
yeah, but if you look back when we drafted 18 and 19, it's because we had tons of holes to fill at the time. Now we don't have that many holes. So I mean, if you don't get a point guard in the first round, you don't get a point guard in the first. Say we draft a big for some reason in the first round, is he really gonna get some playing time? Because, I mean,
look how fast this guy looks.
I disagree with that comment. That should be there, man. I actually seen him going past 48, which is I don't think he would. I seen him going like 52 and stuff.
He'll be in college.
Look how fast he running at 7 feet, man. That guy 7 feet.
Look how fast he is, dude.
Come on, bro. We still getting the big at 48.
I love watching this guy's highlights.
Yeah, come on, man.
This is that Neiman squid that guy.
Yes,
the only
here it goes. This is what Bruno Fernando is supposed to be doing. But
listen, the only knock is that he's playing against JV teams. If you look at him, these guys are all like under 6 feet tall.
Put Jared Butler up there.
Well, that's because he's 7 feet though. But he's playing real colleges.
Hey, you need to put Jared Butler up there.
Nah, man, we looking for these bigs, man.
Everybody go look at this. We're talking gems, man.
Yeah, man. We gotta find a gem at 48.
Y'all over here dumpster diving in Africa.
Because that's what you gotta do at 48.
Gotta do.
Shit, put up Jared Butler. Fuck all that bullshit.
Hey, I'm glad we got this on like footage because we're gonna pull this up on Mann later on in the season, right? When he loved this player that we got at the 48th pick or something like that.
That 48 pick, his ass gonna be right there in College Park. Who want to put some money on it? I put money on it.
You never know.
We never know, man. It depends. We got to get the pick first, bro. I ain't finna do that right now. We got to see
get Jared Butler. Oh, that mother! But that boy nice.
It don't have to be a draft and stash.
This boy nice, dog. I don't give a
fuck. He able to get back.
He's going for the ball. I mean, that's part of what you need on the defensive end.
He is guarding the pick and roll and getting back to guard the rim. See. You see how Trey killed all defensive because Lopez everybody play this drop deal, whatever. This is a big who, in a sense, don't have to do that. In a sense, he can get up on the ball, get back long enough to still. Come on, man. That's like I said, him or Bassey, man.
Excited over a dude who's gonna be at College Park, man. Come on, man. Come on, man.
He's not gonna be.
Look at that. Oh, cut him off, man. Change direction.
If he's a 20th pick, he better not be at College Park.
Nah, he ain't 20. These 2 weeks, this projected to go late. This
dude, the 48th pick right here, right? Am I right?
I don't know why. He looked good to me, but hey, yeah.
Because he a bum, bro. I told you that's why he going 48.
Wow.
All right.
Ain't no wow. Where's our 48th pick at from last year?
Look, this guy right here has a really good chance of being on our team.
I wish he had some offense, man. If he had some offense, though, he'll top 10 pick for sure.
This guy has a really, really good chance of being on our team.
Who is this?
Bro, he's a top 20 pick that you talking about.
He is probably who the Hawks will. This is who the Hawks will probably draft.
I've seen him too. He's actually pretty decent.
The Mann didn't do his homework, man.
No, man. Let me tell you something.
He ran in front of that guy. He just ran in front of that guy and blocked him.
Oh, no, he's nice. I just wish he had some offense.
His defensive IQ is pretty up there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Go back. Somebody go pull up some Pap side highlights.
Man,
we drafted
Jesus, Mann.
20 years ago. You
talking about put them up Amari Spellman highlights.
Let me tell you this guy literally has the chance to be on our team. Like he's projected to be there.
He ain't playing, bro.
He's the projected top 20 pick, and you sitting here acting like
this kid is awesome. like I said, if he had a jump
And he
shot,
can be
it would
projected at
amazing.
whatever he wants. Hey, go get Butler. Call it a day.
Man, you about Baylor bias on the way. Even though I like Butler, but still.
Hold on, let me just call out Devon. Let me just call out Devon.
Yeah,
Call me out, Lou. Call me out. Come on.
He's making a lot of plays here, though.
Look, he's sitting here saying KP is trash because of his health. Then he's like, let's get Jared Butler.
You said let's get somebody. Oh boy, you stole my thunder, Lou.
Yeah.
Somebody,
and then he's scared about DeAndre knee. He want a guy with a heart condition.
He's scared about
DeAndre knee and want a heart condition. Guy.
Okay, now watch that.
I would take Butler,
$100.
That's that
now one of y'all
bias.
can find me say anything about KP's health. I don't even speak on his health. I don't know what Lou talking about. I speak on his playoff. I spoke on KP's playoff performances. I ain't said nothing about himself. That's
then we're gonna bring it to DeAndre knee though. You worried about DeAndre knee, but you want to play with a heart condition.
Are you watching these highlights? These defensive highlights are literally
no, y'all have selective hearing. You have selective hearing. Now you're trying to make it fit your point. What I said, does anybody know? Does anybody know the true reason what was wrong with his knee? That's what I've been asking, and no one has answered.
Did y'all hear what that guy just said? That guy just said, we got selective hearing to prove our point. Boy, is that
Chauncey, I know you ain't talking. You just said the NBA teams. You just said NBA team just started drafting off potential. Are you kidding me? Where you come up with that line at?
What you mean? No. Now you got see.
You didn't say that, Chauncey.
You got select. You
didn't say that.
I said it really started with us. I said, did I not? I said it really started with us with Marvin Williams, and we know how that turned out.
Everybody draft off potential, Chauncey. What else you gonna draft off of, guy?
Everybody draft off of potential.
The word is upside.
Sure thing.
The word is upside.
And potential is the same thing, bro.
Okay, all right. Tomato.
Now put Jared Butler up there, man. Put a winner up there, dog. Y'all
I'm gonna put a little Jared Butler up there.
Goddamn Europe.
Look, I'm gonna put a little Jared Butler on. This guy's playing in a professional league. You're being very disrespectful.
And then we'll talk about.
Because you know how many times we sit here and look at these videos of these bums, Amari Spellman, Pat Sal, all these second round picks.
Listen,
old buddy from
y'all see what he doing?
Old buddy from
Michigan. Y'all see what he doing? He gonna mention.
What's my boy from Michigan, Lou? Adrian Payne.
That's a wasted lottery. The only pick he didn't hit on.
Yeah, I know.
Y'all remember Adrian Payne?
Adrian Payne.
He gonna mention the only pick we didn't.
With around the horn,
was that Travis Slink pick? Well, we talking about Travis Slink. How many picks did Travis Slink?
No, I'm not talking about the GM Chauncey. I'm talking about when you showing these highlights of these bums. That's what I'm saying.
Says Gruber has been compared to Draymond Green. You wouldn't take a Draymond Green at the 20th?
Are you gonna say no?
I know.
See, Mike know me so well.
Because he don't know basketball then.
I know motherfucking ball, bro. I know winning basketball.
He's a fan. That's why we love Demond. He's a fan.
Y'all go out here looking for these garbage ass players and be like, oh, look at me.
If they ain't shiny and top six, Demond don't know him.
I pulled up a random dude in Africa.
He ain't heard of him.
He's a random dude in
Africa. He ain't heard of him. He ain't heard of him, so he's alone.
The ball is up. There we go.
Nothing about Nigeria.
Look at that winner right there, bro.
He got winner because he ain't heard of him.
My bad.
Winner.
He give me Josh Hart and like Jordan Clarkson vibes.
Look at that. Winner.
Y'all think that's a fair comparison?
I don't know about Josh Hart.
I'm about to say he's taller than them though.
The best ability.
Both of them play the same to me.
The best ability is availability.
Exactly.
The best ability is availability.
He look available right now.
This guy.
He available. What are you talking about?
If we spend a 20th pick on a guy, sir, with a fucking heart condition, and he got to sit out. And he got to sit out for damn 6 months because he's scared. Because he got an irregular heartbeat, or he's scared he's gonna fucking die. That means he's not gonna be available to play.
He been cleared by real doctors.
It's real simple.
But It's
Yeah,
real
with
simple.
spin-off,
If we
man.
draft a guy with a fucking heart condition,
Nigga,
and
you
he had
got a
to
heart
sit out,
condition. Shut
and he
the
had to
fuck up.
sit out because of his heart condition or a prior heart condition,
Fuck up,
that
Charles.
means
He
he's not going to be fucking available to play. God damn.
Hold on, yes,
You ain't making no sense. You ain't making no because it has to make sense to you.
dog.
Oh, I ain't heard of him. He's a bum.
He been clear.
I apologize, everybody. All right, we had to take control of the rings here. You can still watch them; they're still doing their thing. Trust me. But we're just gonna calm everything down. Everybody's gonna take a deep breath. We're gonna bring you back to the facts of the matter. That we're talking Hawks basketball.
It was hilarious. All right, my question about Jared Butler. I don't know, maybe Chris know or whatnot though, but
Excuse me, Lou.
I just mainly see scoring or whatnot, man. Like I said, I would like a playmaker.
Well,
as
remember,
well.
those
You know, I don't think we lack the
highlights
scoring.
are cut.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. That's my question then about Jared Butler. Even when I've looked at him or whatnot, you know, I got to dive more into him. I agree. I'll take him at 20, but I'm just asking about his playmaking and what was his assists per game and all that type stuff or whatever.
I don't think anybody is doubting his abilities or his talents, but we're talking about a heart condition. A guy
he's definitely top 10 without the heart condition, right?
Yeah, I mean, if he's available, absolutely. But
we
have dealt a whole lot with a lot of inavailability.
If that's the guy I was thinking.
In college, he was getting 4.8, so 5 assists a game in college.
Okay.
I'm not doubting
what are you, a junior?
When he is available. I am not doubting what the man can do when he is available, of course.
Butler is 20 years old.
In the championship game, he has 7 assists.
He's 20 years old.
No turnovers, 22 points. Shot 44% from 3.
We need that, baby. We need that.
We need him, and we also need him available.
Hold on, Mr. Contradiction. Mr. Contradiction here. Let me ask you a question.
A lot.
If Jared Butler gets picked at 20th, does he play?
I think so.
Hell yeah, he plays.
No, quick question then. All right. Well, I'm gonna say
you
this.
Just said earlier that the 20th pick is not playing, so I just wanted to make sure.
He did. Lou did. He did say that, but still,
I said because it depends on who you pick. The point guard position is a need. So if you have him, he plays.
All right. So y'all love Jared Butler. So if it's Jared Butler or Chris Duarte or whatever, man, like which one do y'all prefer over the two?
Oh, you know who I'm going with.
I don't know anything about Duarte. I'm just finding out about Butler.
I can pull him up, and
unlike other folks, I'm not gonna speak on somebody
I know
who I don't know about.
Listen,
Chris is older, but I don't feel like Jared Butler's maybe point guard playmaking abilities for me is separating them too much from, say, Chris at Oregon, and I'll still get the scoring and shooting from Chris.
Yeah, and also the thing about Chris, and I was going to tell this director to Chauncey too. Chris Duarte is 6'6" with a sturdy frame. He's got probably one of the most NBA ready body. Yeah. He's NBA ready.
He don't have a heart condition.
He's 6'6", 6'7" wingspan. He's a 3-and-D guy already. He's already comes in as a 3-and-D guy.
Is his heart okay?
And
Lou. Is his heart okay? Then I like him.
Lou, I have a question, Lou.
What is it?
What conference did Duarte play in?
Pac-10, Pac-12, whatever it's called.
So he wasn't the Pac-10 Player of the Year?
I don't know, bro.
So that means
I don't think he was.
That's what he's trying to get.
Hey, Lou, get ready to mute me.
Lou,
get ready to mute me.
Hold on.
Get ready to mute me.
Hey, tell him who won the ACC Player of the Year real quick.
Moses, baby. Moses Wright. I'm telling y'all slipping on that cat. Moses Wright. ACC player. He dominated.
Demond.
He dominated it.
Demond, who won the ACC Player of the Year?
When, this year?
Yeah, this year.
Old buddy from their school.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point.
Like, because no one cares.
Yeah, that's my point about that.
How can no one care about the ACC?
Listen, I do want to talk about this guy. His name is not Deuce McBridges. It's Deuce McBride, but he's an interesting prospect. 6'2" point guard. I think he has a 6'8" wingspan. His defense is incredible. And he can also do catch and shoot. He was like 40% from 3. What do y'all think of him?
Y'all don't think he's too small? Well, is he supposed to be the backup point guard?
Yeah, backup point guard. But the thing is that
Okay.
he doesn't play small because he's got a 6'8" wingspan. So let me show you some of his highlights real quick. While y'all keep talking.
Okay, I got a question real quick to y'all guys. So for the backup point guard, does the height matter?
For me, it kind of do. That's why I'm out on Sharif Cooper. That's why every time somebody bring him up, I'm like, no, I'm a no on
They
Sharif
said he
Cooper.
grew to 6'4". Is that true?
What height you looking at, Mike, for backup point guard?
At least 6'3".
6'3", because Deuce is 6'2".
But he's got a
That's
6'6" wingspan.
Yeah, that's
just
what
don't
I'm
know
saying. I have
nobody
to see that wingspan though. If it's that crazy like that, and if he's
I
athletic too as
just
well,
don't want no.
It looks unreal. He looks like Marcus Smart out here.
I do not want anybody to come in the game and we continue to get cooked on the defensive end at that position.
Look how long he looks.
We're getting cooked with the other guy, but we
And
got to
here's
have
the
the
thing.
other guy because he's a top 5 to 7 player in the league.
we can't lose
We don't need
any
his
matchups
backup.
off of physical stats, in my opinion.
He
Not
plays with
anymore.
so much focus on defense every possession. It's like watching.
That's what we need.
He looked like Donovan Mitchell. He got a body. He got that body like Donovan Mitchell. He almost looked like him too.
Donovan
6'8",
Mitchell's crazy short,
6'8"
though. That's
wingspan.
weird.
I mean, obviously he's shorter, but I mean he got like thick. He got like a thick body. Hey, what you got, Lou? On I'm on here. They say his wingspan 6'5". What you say it was?
He said
6'8".
You said
6'8".
6'8". Oh, some of these
Yeah.
draft people lying.
Yeah,
It's when you look at him.
Let me go to the. I'm gonna see. Did he go to the combine?
Yeah, he went to the combine. That's where they got the wingspan.
Okay, so this dude probably put his information in wrong.
Yeah, that's why his stock is rising.
But what is he? What is he on offense
Look at his
though, as well? See, that's
Look
the
at his
trick, though.
wingspan. All right, he's a
Because
catcher.
we definitely need a
Because if
two-way
he-
player. You can't just have someone
Exactly.
being one way and not the
If
other. We need
he's
one of
all
both.
exactly, I agree with Chris. It got to be a little bit of both. A good balance is what we need for our backup point guard. Because if he more just straight defense, hell, I mean,
He's got the big ball in his hands, guys.
Okay.
Hey, Mike. Question, Mike and Chris. Since y'all just said that, so we obviously know we wanted to be able to do both, but what is the one between the offense and the defensive side? Whatever you want him to do on the offense, whatever you want him to do defense. Which side would you give up? So say the Duarte guy, say he's not that good on defense, but his offense is so good you'll want him. And somebody else, vice versa, their defense is good, but their offense is not that good. Which one of those attributes or whatever you would kind of give a pass on and say, you know what, we can work with this guy on this part of his game, as he, when he become a pro?
Only because we have Cam and Hunter and Big O. I would say the defense to an extent. Because I want somebody to make sure they can run the offense. We got to make sure that we have a fluidity in the offense when Trey come off the floor. And if Cam is on the floor at the same time, Big O coming off the bench or whatnot, however they do that, that's just me.
Are y'all not watching this guy's post game and dunking on?
What I was gonna say, Lou, while you're excited about all of that, though, I don't see any playmaking. Though I need the playmaking to run our offense. Like this is like basically quickly or Tyrese Maxey or whatever. Like our second offense, or whatever, our secondary team. Marcus Smart is. He's not running point all the time like that to begin with, number one. And then he play off the ball, though. Well, but everybody ain't Marcus Smart, man. That's a little rare, man. Like I have to sit down and talk to this young man, do some deep diving to see if he got Marcus Smart in him. Other than that,
the thing about Marcus Smart, we do know he has playmaking ability. It sounds like what we need is a guy who can defend that got playmaking ability. Now with me, I give up a little bit on that offense because if we're gonna have a guy where we just we'll give up a little bit on the defensive end, then we need to go ahead on and re-sign Lou Williams to that multi-year deal that he's looking for. And that's what you're asking for, another Lou Williams.
I can see that. Right. I can see that. But I'm just, I don't know. I don't want Kevin running the offense. That's what I'm saying. I want somebody to be able to get guys like that to be who they need to be on the wing. We need a true point.
We need a point guard.
Yeah, we need a point guard. I agree with that. We need an extra point guard. That's more so what we need, man. Because the defense. I feel like long as they're not a notoriously like bad defender per se. Like if that's not their draft stock, they can be an average defender coming in, but they don't need to be like Trae rated coming in a sense. Like we definitely don't need that part.
Well, they need to be able to stay in front of their man and fight through a screen every now and again, but you know how that go. But
so I guess to answer the Mann question, I want more of the playmaking end.
So you'll cut slack on the defense because you'll be like, you know what, we'll work on that during your career. Okay,
slightly because the same thing with Trey. When Trey on the court, we should have defenders around him.
Hey, so we looking at we all can agree.
That's what you're talking about. I know who you're talking about now.
So this is for agree. We're looking for a guard that's at least
coming out of Creighton. I already like him.
Listen, this is that guy with that super quick shot that I was just like, when I was doing all of this, I was like, this guy's shot is. I'm gonna definitely show this on
Kyle
the show.
Korver from Creighton, ain't he?
Yeah,
I believe so. Yeah.
I want you guys to understand what I'm hearing. What I'm hearing is you want basically another guy that's gonna come in behind the starter, and we give up more on the defensive end with our second unit. Now we're continually to get cooked in that position, and now the other four guys.
Are we really getting cooked at that position though, like that? I don't think we are.
Chris, come on now. Trey gets cooked bad. Can we all agree on that?
He gets hidden.
But Chauncey, I'm saying I don't want to trade.
I've never seen Trey give up 30 points on the other point guard. I've never seen that happen.
Okay, but why are we hiding Trey? We hiding him because he been getting cooked.
There's a lot of players that get hidden in the NBA though who do nothing. You know, I don't think that's that important. This part of, again, remember a whole off season of hey guys. Don't have five guys looking at the same player over there. Stay with your man so you don't give up this open three. And guess what? You need to go under the screen, not around the screen. If we could just get that in, I think we'll be straight. In
which Trey messed up in Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals, giving up a big 3 to Connaughton. Yeah, I'm calling you out, Trey Young.
That was not good.
Watching the ball, and your man dropped to the corner and knocked down the 3 right after Cam just did a good play.
I'm telling you, if we can get that right there, that fixes half of the issues right there. We could just stop doing those silly things from the last 2 seasons where it was obvious we weren't really being taught anything. We were just out there, like I've been saying. But I think because of our depth, though, I believe those things will be taken care of. But again, that's just a lot of that is intensity and the want to be able to do it, want to be able to play your position. And these guys have gotten better. Trey has gotten quadruple better at defense than when he first started. Everybody should be able to agree with that, right? So again, some of these lapses that we be seeing and stuff like that can be taken care of when we have a whole season of Coach Nate saying, hey, don't do this no more. We're going to do it like this from now on. You see what I'm saying? They were 2 games away from the finals. Don't you think they're going to have a little bit of inspiration to be like, we've seen the tape. We know what we did. And if Trey had gotten snookered by that referee on the sideline,
let's run with that. Let's run with that. Like, what do you think of the mindset coming into this offseason for these guys that just got that taste? Because I think I heard Joel Embiid saying, I can be so much better. I'm going to be so much better next year. What do you think these guys? What do you think the effect of going to the going so close to?
Well, did you see Trey's Twitter? Trey said he needs to feel this feeling at least a couple of times. He said that right off the jump. Like Trey is ready. You know, Trey has been talking that. You know, but for the rest of the guys, I mean, you got to think about it. It's like all the young guys. This is their first taste after not winning nothing, and then all of a sudden, you know, they're winning at home. They've won the division. First round, second round, knocked out the first seed. They're in the Eastern Conference Finals. Nobody thought they were going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals. And all these guys were like, we were 14 and 20, right? So now the sky's the limit. There's an expectation factor there now. So all these guys at this point now, especially Trey and John, who've been saying they want to win a championship. And again, for a lot of these players over the years in Atlanta, we haven't really heard that moniker saying, hey, I, as a player of the Atlanta Hawks, have a goal to win a championship here in Atlanta. It's always been, oh, we're just going to make sure we have a great season and get to the playoffs and see what happens. No, these guys are saying championship. And that's not something that we've heard, other than maybe Dominique, but you know where Dominique had to play, you know what I'm saying? But these guys believe they can do it. And then, again, remember the whole moniker of believe from Nate bringing it in there. These guys really believe they can pull it off. And they almost did. They almost messed around and did. Like I said, I said it. I was like, why can't we win it this year? I don't care about all these people telling me I shouldn't be talking all this mess. I believe we can do it. And if it wasn't for that referee, I keep bringing them up, don't I? If it wasn't for that referee and Trey getting hurt, we could have beat the Bucks. The Bucks are not unbeatable by any stretch of the imagination. We should have beat them. You know what I'm saying? So I believe these guys really do feel that they can do it. And I don't think they're scared of anybody in the East. I don't care about, the Nets are going to come back with everybody full healthy. So, you know what I'm saying? And who cares about Philadelphia? And nobody else is really anywhere near us. So
I don't think anybody is doubting the heart, the will, and the want to. But it still has to all this shit sounds real good. It sounds lovely. But it still has to transfer to the floor. Hey, them lapses like leaving Connaughton, hey, it has to transfer.
That pissed me off too.
It has to transfer to the floor. So again, back to what we need. It sounds like we all agree on we need a playmaker who can play a teaspoon of freaking defense when Trey leaves the floor, because it's abundantly clear that we lose a lot on the offensive end when he leaves the floor. So now we can't lose a lot. We can't lose a lot on the offensive end and still be getting still playing 4-on-5 on defense. That's what I don't want.
No, we lose a lot.
We agree with that.
We lose a lot.
We have Hunter and Cam coming back. Don't forget.
The point guards. Well, when Goodwin was out, Lou is not a true point. So we stopped running pick and roll. So when we start running pick and roll, you take out Clint and you take out and I don't want to say it, but you take out Collins too, because now we lose that. We lose the easy alley-oops, we lose them easy putbacks, and also this season we should know how we are going to be by the All-Star break, because this year will be the first year with this group. They're going to play with expectations, and they're going to play with some type of pressure on them, because fans, maybe not us, but casual fans, are going to expect these dudes to win some games now.
Damon, would you be willing?
Added more pressure.
Damon, would you be more willing to make a trade this offseason before the season starts, or at trade deadline?
I mean, it depends who I'm trading for. Not this year. I would make a trade for like a DeMar DeRozan, if possible. I'm not going to mortgage the house on a trade this year, because we are deep and the players are still young. I wouldn't mortgage the future. If a deal came along that benefited us, which we all know track records speak for itself. I mean, I'll entertain it, but I mean, is there really any impactful free agents out there that
not this year
could change the direction of a team? It ain't really done.
So more so,
and Mike,
we need to wait till the trade deadline.
Your boy Scotty measured at 6'4" at the combine.
We'll be able to see. We'll be able to see at the trade deadline. By the time we'll be all the way into our rhythm, given that we have that availability.
I mean, Sharif, my bad, Mike.
We'll be all the way into our rhythm. So by the time trade deadline come along, we're gonna know what we need, who we need, and how we need what and who. So I wouldn't make any crazy ass trades during the off season. I run with this group what we got. Hopefully we bring Collins back. Everything, a lot of shit that's gonna go on with the Hawks gonna hinge on whether we match whoever offer Collins. I mean, I think we can all agree to that.
Mike, I heard recently that Sharif Cooper had a growth spurt to 6'4". Would that change your mind? Yeah, with that change,
the reports I saw was that they thought he was 6'4", and his measurements was like way shorter than that. He was like 6'1", under 6 feet.
I heard it was reversed. I thought it was reversed. I heard he was 6'2", and then when he got measured, he's 6'4".
Yeah, I mean,
they said,
I just have to.
How you make a 3-inch? How you make a 3-inch mistake?
They said at the NBA Combine. I'm only saying this because I'm watching the videos. That's why I was telling Mike because it was still fresh in my head.
Yeah,
they said NBA Combine. He measured at 6'4" at the Combine. That's what they saying. I don't know if it's with shoes or without shoes. All it says at the NBA Combine, he measured at 6'4". That's what your boy. I'm sure Lou followed this guy, Jimmy Range.
Yeah, Jimmy Range. I do follow him.
Yeah. He just
so how do you make a 3-inch mistake?
It's pretty drastic.
I'm still trying.
Don't they do it all the time?
Because you know who I don't want to get Sharif Cooper?
And they lie in college sometimes, man. So that's the thing about it. Then he got his actual, supposedly got actual measure, his measurements though. But I mean, shoot, Demon's saying that, that's what he see. But I'm just saying, when I had last saw stuff, it was the other way around. Because to be honest with you, everything people say about Sharif Cooper, I mean, if he was 6'4", I don't think he'd be projected to be going so late that he is going. Well,
he's still in that 20 place, but who I don't want to get Sharif Cooper is the New York Knicks.
Yeah, I think we can all agree with that.
They will be a problem if they get a point guard that can do the things that Sharif can.
Because you saw what they couldn't do without Rose. Like they were pretty much dead in the water. Like if Rose wasn't there, I don't know what they would have done. That's the only thing that kept them in any games at all was an actual point guard who actually can penetrate, dish the ball, and actually score and be a threat on the floor. Without that, the New York Knicks had nothing because it definitely wasn't the most improved player on the court helping them out. So, I would definitely agree. You don't want him to get over there because they would be a little bit more of a problem. I mean, I think we still handle them, but they'll suffer.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, if he's 6'3" or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'm not opposed to it. I'm with it at 20 or whatever, but.
Yeah, but that's how our picks would be affected if New York thinks that we are going to go after Sharif, then they would probably get him with the 19th pick and then do whatever at the 21st. So that's why it really is interesting. We have two interesting situations. That's the Knicks sandwiching our picks, and then also OKC having so many picks. I think that's going to have an effect on the draft in overall.
Yeah, I'm concerned about the Knicks. I ain't gonna lie. Not at 19. I don't want to sit here and be thinking to myself like, oh boy, I know we're gonna get so and so. I'm sold on them. Then boom, you get called right there at 19. I'm like, son of a bitch, So
okay. Now let's go back. Let's go back to the Giannis Antetokounmpo. How you say that? Let's go back to that conversation. Where did we screw up at with that situation? We said there, we let a snake lead a yard, and he went over there, and they took Giannis. So if you're sold on a guy, and you think the guy that's in front of you might take that guy, then you may have to. So who got the 18th pick?
Who?
I can pull that up while you talk, but is it pertinent to
whoever got the 18th pick? We need to be hollering at them. We need to be hollering at them. We shouldn't have to give up too much to move two freaking spots. So
2 spots you wouldn't. I wouldn't be opposed to that at all. As far as that goes, again, this is just not the draft. I think you go all out for anybody because we have so many different players that will fall at the picks that we got. But in that particular case, I believe you go and get them because that's what other teams do when they want their guy. They go and get them. We just haven't had the best history of doing that over the years until now, of course. But
so look, OKC picks 6th.
Oh wow.
And they picked 16th.
16th and 18th.
Who picks 18th?
I thought they had a third one in there too.
OKC 18. They had 18, bro. 16th and 18th. Those the two that's right there. So OKC in New York, they gonna jack us up. Basically, Memphis probably won't necessarily go guard. Memphis gonna go wing. That's what they need. They'll probably take like Zaire.
Drafter though. Memphis is a strong drafter. They're gonna get a
no. They are, but they need a wing. That's what they're gonna be focusing more so on, I believe, than versus before that backup point guard.
OKC got 3 first-round picks.
Yes.
Yep.
If they smart, they probably won't have that number 18 pick.
I mean, I don't think so either, but at the same time, though, they can use that to be picking for somebody else who, want one of those guards. Say they want a Sharif Cooper. They,
okay. Now there we go. Now we talking.
At 18.
Now we talking. Now what are we willing to give up? You want to give up 48?
I don't know, man. That's the thing. I was thinking about that when you was talking. I'm not willing to give up that second rounder because I think we can get a pretty good big there.
According to our super fan Mann, he's gonna be a G leaguer anyway, right? So why we holding on to? So why we holding on to?
Opinion. That's the Mann opinion.
I need to hear you say. Hold on, Mike. I need to hear you say it one time. What is he doing?
That's the Mann opinion.
What is Mann doing? I need to hear you say.
He's just talking.
He just talking. He just be talking.
He tripping.
He said, man, he tripping. There you go. Man, he tripping. He tripping big time. But no, like we were talking about though, I don't know if Sharif Cooper or even everybody we named Jared Butler or anybody like that is that much of a sure thing to where I need to give up that second rounder for is what I see and any other things or any other assets to move up to get them. Where I feel like I said, it's like a bunch of like about 5 to 7 guards that are like possible right there at 20. So.
Okay. So if we locked in on a guy like Sharif Cooper, pretty much you telling me if we'll be okay if the Knicks take him, and because we already got a couple other guys that we know we'll take if the Knicks take him.
In a sense, yes, but because the Knicks are like a competitor, I don't want them to draft well at all.
Let me present this situation. What if we did our first round pick, maybe next year's pick, and JC, and we went up to number 3 and grabbed Evan Mobley because I heard he's moving down.
Why?
No,
he's the number 1 player. He's a generational player.
Evan Mobley, what? That's a big, right, or whatever.
Yeah,
that's the dude. Yeah, out of USC or whatever, ain't he?
Yes.
Or no. Yeah. Bro, don't do that, man.
Okay.
You trying to make people mad?
Generational talent,
that, bro.
So you gonna give up? I don't know.
Stop, bro. You finna make folks mad, Luke. That's worse than trying to trade John Collins for KP or Cat. Like you trying to trade him for a draft pick, an unknown draft pick. Boy, you gonna be on everybody.
Hey man, I be real. It's certain things you gotta be real careful when you put something on. When you use the word generational, it's gotta be lead pipe sense. Like LeBron James was generational. Zion Williamson is generational. Who else came out in recent years? A generational guy. Luka is generational. I can't believe I'm saying that. Trey Young is generational. So you say when you use the word generational, that's got to be lead pipe cinch.
I'm telling you, this guy is generational.
Don't know nothing about him, so I'll take your word for it. But we got to be careful.
This guy is 7 foot tall, 215.
I don't know. I can't say it. I mean, because we've seen some other. I don't know about that. I couldn't use that label on him.
If you could turn JC into Evan Mobley, you wouldn't do that. That's basically the question.
So what is his offensive?
What are his physical attributes? What is he?
He's 7 feet.
He's 7 foot tall.
7 foot tall.
This is him right here playing ball. He's number 4.
There's a lot of 7 foot players in the NBA who are giving you 2 points a game right now. I'm just saying.
This ain't it.
Defensively and stuff like that. I like the other two like just as well, if anything. You know what I'm saying? Those are like second rounders. The thing with him, I have to see his offensive ability.
So you saying we plugging him in at power forward off the muscle?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Shoot, he really is 7 feet.
Okay, I don't know anything about him.
So I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it.
Trading John Collins for this man, bro. Like, no.
That's what I'm asking. That's the question.
No.
Let me tell you something. No. Guess what? That's all I need to hear. Because we know how Mike feel about John Collins.
I know. That's what I'm surprised.
Mike ain't trading John Collins for him. I don't want him.
I am actually very surprised.
We already know how Mike feels about John Collins.
He does everything Mike wants JC to do already.
I mean, but you can't trade for unknown, man. I mean, I understand all that. It looks good and everything, though, but you know what you're getting from John.
Until you play that first preseason game, it all changes. I mean, again, we've seen some high draft picks, 7 foot tall and the wingspan and everything, and they're not even in a G League team right now. So
it goes back to what I've been saying for the longest. You don't want to give up or let John Collins walk just to go out there and get another John Collins. Hey, I'm against that. I'm against that, even though I am. I think with our team, I think right now with the makeup of our team, you got guys still like who can you honestly say don't reach their ceiling out of our core guys, and that includes John.
None of them have reached their ceiling yet.
Exactly. So if these guys
that's part of the debate, though.
Okay. If these guys hadn't reached their ceiling, y'all hear me out on this. These guys hadn't reached their ceiling, which means at some point they're gonna reach their ceiling. And we was 2 games away from playing the Phoenix Suns. Why would we trade one of these pieces for a piece that we're going to have to wait 2 to 3 or maybe 1 to 2 or maybe 3 years?
Generational players don't take that long to start scoring 16 to 20 points in a game. A game.
We don't know if he's going to do that, though. We won't see again.
I
can see that with LeBron. I can see it with Zion. We know Luka was a professional already. I just don't see that with this kid right here. I can't. That feeling is not there. It has to be inherent. Just like Chauncey said, that word generational is a big word. You know what I'm saying? And
you gotta be careful. You got to be careful when you say
mantelpiece.
Now, I respect.
There are people who thought Andrew Wiggins was generational, right? As a number 1 draft pick. You know how many number 1 draft picks Cleveland has had? Other than LeBron, and we ain't seen near hair of. It's a lot to put that on someone and say this is the next person for the next 15 years in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Especially at the big position at this point nowadays. So
this is very interesting. I really thought the conversation was going to be. I don't think that's enough to get Evan Mobley. I didn't think that. I didn't think that the conversation would be so pro JC. So this is good. I got some new information.
Hey, bro, I ain't never tried JC to that extent, even though everybody, here, I feel like here they want to, man.
I can't tell you that, Luke.
But no.
I can't tell you that because again,
this isn't dribbling the floor.
I don't know anything about the kid. I trust y'all judgment on that. I'm not strong. I'm not strong with the college when it comes to the college guys and the guys coming from overseas and stuff. So
Kevin Durant. Like you can see that from Kevin Durant. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But
I ain't gonna lie. He looked nice and everything like that though. But it's difficult for me to give up. Knowing what I got from a JC and everything like that to trade for a rookie. And then we supposed to depend on them and count on them, bro. Like throwing them into a mix that we just made them run, like they saying, like that doesn't make sense to me.
If we get a big and free agent, and we don't have to rush them along.
Man, you're not finna start no bigs that we get in free agency either, bro.
Remember, I got the sounder on my show, the Chauncey Bowl, baby. I don't want to do that again with someone on our team. That would be a mistake. You know what I'm saying? So
it's a mistake to let John walk. We already said all of that. You let John walk, you got less money to work with to even begin with, and then on top of that, this free agency period or whatever, it sucks in a sense. It sucks. JC is the top power forward. You know what I'm saying? Bobby Porter's like 3rd or something like that. You're not really, there's no options really out there. Now, when it comes to John Collins, it's basically the best option is to keep him. It's just outside of that, if you're not, the best thing that you can do is a sign and trade. But every sign and trade that I would say okay or whatever, we get something that I would feel like John Collins doesn't necessarily bring, and you getting the veteran. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, it don't be like one for one. It's also throwing in that backup point guard, possibly for us. So, you know what I'm saying? Those situations, I feel like, we would be gaining, even though, we all love them and stuff like that, but we will be gaining in multiple ways in a sense. This way or whatever, no, we all we getting is a rookie. unknown. It's not like we're getting a point guard or anything like that. Then the
You don't
free
think those
agency
skills will
pool
translate?
not that good.
You don't think those skills will translate?
I mean, it's a matter of the time. You know what I'm saying? I highly doubt that it's like first year we win a championship. You understand what I'm saying? We supposed to be in win now mode. You know, it's like I don't know. It started last year with me because I was saying the same thing with like double O and picking at number 6. Even last season going into the draft, nobody who we picked was going to start. Maybe Ant-Man or something like that, but he wasn't gonna start probably right away. Not with like healthy Cam, Kev, and then Bogey and stuff here. He was about to probably have to work his way, earn his way, and show it at least for a little bit. But he was gonna come off the bench. No matter who we took, whatever last year too was gonna come off the bench. So yeah, nah, man, I wouldn't do it. I mean, yeah, I just wouldn't do it. No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Well, there's that. Good to know. Good to know. Like I just thought about it like when I was looking at that draft list. I was like, I wonder if we could package JC in a pick and move up and get something that we want.
Charles Bassey don't look too bad off of that. Like I'm just saying, bro. Like,
would you get him with the 20th pick because he's not a 20th
with the what?
pick? With the 20th pick, because then you're gonna have to hope and pray that he's available at 48.
Well, you hope and pray he at 48, but that's where he projected at. You're not finna make that extra reach for him at 20th when it's like that's a whole almost 30 picks up that you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I've seen him projected around 50. You know, actually after us. You understand what I'm saying? So ain't nobody finna reach no 20th for him. And then if unfortunately he's not 20, there, I like the
20. You're looking at that proverbial backup point guard. Because you don't. Again, you got Goody, you got Lou. You know, Lou ain't no sure thing to re-sign back, but he's not a point guard. We got Cam and Hunter coming back, but they're not point guards, right? So who else is a point guard on the team if it ain't Trey? So you have to be looking at that for the future, and depending on what we do in free agency. At the 48th pick, I mean, again, there's a lot of bigs that, because you're also looking at the other teams and what they say they need too. And you never can anticipate that what you think they need might not be what they want. Somebody might be like, hey, you know what? Hey, guess what? This is our generational player right here. And all of a sudden, they'll change the whole draft because they picked who you didn't never think they were going to pick. And then your guy ends up falling exactly where you want to. So you have that aspect. The draft is always, iffy at best sometimes, except after the first 5 or 6 picks. After that, it's a crapshoot. So,
yeah, I know. I
right now, I'm sorry, Lou, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Right now, hey, at the position that we in, we don't need to be shooting crap. We were literally 2 steps away from the finals. Moves we need to be a move for us to have that feeling that Milwaukee had last night. We need that make. Here's
the truth, though. Here's the truth, Chauncey. Yeah, we were 2 games from we were 2 games away from the finals, but we were also 1/3 quarter away from, or whatever, 1 Lou Williams quarter away from not making it to the Eastern Conference Finals either.
I get that, but
we have deficiencies, and we were down 29. And we were down 29 points in those games, in certain games, with or without injuries, like Damon said. With or without injury, we go to war with what we had, and that team was deficient. And DeAndre Hunter and Cam Reddish are not big men that are going to take on Brook Lopez, anyways.
Yeah, well, again, that's where I want to see if Knight's going to get any minutes. He was there, and he didn't get a lot, of playing time, but he was drafted. He's on the roster. There was times where I'm like, why is he DMP? I don't understand this now. Because we obviously need someone in there other than who we got to at least help out a little bit on the rebound and a little bit, just put a body on him, just put your hands up and just, can we get 6 fouls? And he's on the floor. Plus, he's never not giving energy. Every time he's on the court for 2 minutes, he has 2 points in the board. You know what I'm saying? So it's like this free agency part also is going to play a part in how this team makeup is going to be, because we've all said it. We were 2 games away. And I do see your point, Lou, in regards to we almost didn't make it at the same time, but I just don't think we break up this core that we've spent this time to get to, and then all of a sudden just blow it up and then be getting We don't need DeMar DeRozan. I know what McCall said that earlier. That's not somebody we need here at all.
Chris, that's been my whole point from the beginning, man. We don't. Why are we gonna sit up here and put in the work with these kids, and then all of a sudden go to break them up because now all of a sudden we got attractive pieces. Okay, y'all never been attracted to us, so don't get attracted to me now. No, we're gonna stay with what we got. And this is if I'm running the show. We're gonna stay with what we got, and then now, hey, look, we got a choice on how we can do it. Now I'm gonna ask you guys. I keep hearing a lot of Nathan Knight. I like him. I may not be all the way y'all are. So could it be that we may already have our guy as far as that big we need? He just need to get more rotational minutes.
Well, like I said, I mean, we know it ain't Bruno, and Knight, is the only other guy on that bench that is on the quote unquote side of big. You know what I'm saying? So when you got your starting lineup and it's Clint and Trey and Bogey and Hunter and John or whatnot, and you bring them off the bench or put them on the bench and then you're coming in. Yeah, Gallo actually played kind of halfway decent at center, but do you really want him playing center? No. So if you're bringing Gallo off the bench at that power forward, of course, we've been playing Big O there, but why not play? We could play a big lineup and play Big O at the power forward and have Gallo at the big three or whatnot. But at the end of the day, why can't we have Knight play some of those minutes? Because there's nights, pardon the pun, there are nights where, of course, you got the time that Gallo ain't all that there, Why can't we have Knight come in and play 10, 15 minutes a night? We're not talking about a lot of minutes here, but he wasn't getting no minutes at all. And then we get to the playoffs, and I'm like, there's times where, especially with Joel Embiid, like, why can't we use him a little bit? And then, of course, against Milwaukee, you would think he would have got some minutes. I'm like, I was at a point, well, put Bruno in there. I'm desperate now. Put somebody in there because Brook Lopez don't need to be doing what he's doing, looking like Akeem Olajuwon out there. It was frustrating.
The thing is like with Nathan Knight, you got to be able to trust that they'll do the things on defense and assignments, and also you can't rely on them with the low post touches. So it's just like the Chris Dunn situation. It's like, yeah, they'll come in flashes and they can do one thing, but can they do it consistently over and over and over?
We don't know until they play. We don't know. We don't know until they play. It's a catch-22. Eventually, you got to throw them into the fire. Otherwise, again, it's like, well, why draft them if you're not going to play them at a certain point? There was no G League last year or whatnot. We know that. But at a certain point, you got to find out. Because at a certain point, it wasn't working what they were doing. You know what I'm saying? At a certain point, it was like, we ain't going to lose too much water. Like, put them in there and see if we can do something. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing.
What do we do with Bruno? Do we totally give up on him?
Give up on him. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can move him, but it's just, to me, I think you got to be able to trust the big man. And if you have a question, shoot it. We'll definitely answer. But with this, you got to be able to have a big man you can trust. And the thing is like we got to have a coach that we can trust that is making these decisions about these players. So if he's not putting them in the game, then that means that player is not.
I don't know if that in this case means that. I know what you're talking about, Lou, but I don't think that applies in this particular case like that. I just think it was just more situational, more so than anything. I just don't. We need to see more because, again, at the end of the day, what you're going to be talking about is getting rid of Bruno and Knight and replacing two big men with either the draft and free agency. And I don't know if that's really necessary. You know what I'm saying?
I think we'll keep it.
First of all, I think we can all agree you can never have enough big. For some reason, I don't know.
And Charles, you want to address this question first?
For some reason, I'm not ready to give up on Bruno. Go ahead, though. What's the question?
I think you want to address this question. Facebook user says, we not worried about how the players are going to be used going forward. And I'm assuming if they're talking about Onyeka or, Gallo being used, because, when Gallo came into the league, he was more of a small forward. And now he could be more effective as a center because he's not as fast, but he still has all the skills of a low post move, which is all you need out of that position. And he did enough on defense. So I think changing Gallo to more of a center makes sense, and then we can really kind of alleviate that look.
In certain situations, yes, you can put Gallo at center. And to be honest with you, for a stretch there in the playoffs, even with Trey being virtuoso, having virtuoso, really our biggest match that we had for a point in the playoffs was Danilo Gallinari because of his skill set, and it's so much that he can. It's so much that Gallo can do on the floor. Now, even though he's not that great of a defender, his body can help in certain situations.
Yeah, he's still 6'10" and 230 or whatever.
Yeah, and he's got a little physicality, and he's a very cerebral guy. Mm-hmm. Gallo is the guy, when we cut down the nets, he's going to be here.
Yeah, I agree. And it's interesting that he's one of those guys that's being talked about as other teams look to take that next step. They want his veteran presence, and I don't know.
Get ready to mute me.
Yeah, and people don't realize that we actually have a really sweet contract with him because his last year, where he's only guaranteed $5 million.
Okay, we not listen. We're gonna regress if we let somebody swindle us out of Danilo Gallo because he is a very key piece.
That's a sure 13, 15 points a night.
For sure.
You can't let that go. That's game differential points right there that you would give up if you let him go.
And here's what a lot of people don't look at. He is a guy that other teams must pay attention to. You must pay. Like when he come in the game, be like, who got him? You know, somebody get that motherfucker. Somebody get that right there. Somebody. Come on, Chris. You play. You don't play that pickup ball in the gym. We all know.
We all know who. Yeah, we exactly who. We exactly know.
Yeah, that dude there when he get hot and he can kill us. Somebody got to guard him. See,
and that's D'Lo. I mean, he'll always have that reputation, and shooter's reputation is just as good.
Yeah, Gallo can come in the game, and guess what? He cannot take a shot, and we can go on a 15 to nothing run because they paying so much attention to him. Now Cam is eating. Kevin might have one of his stretches. The lane open up, and Onyeka show his activity. Get a couple stick backs, catch a lob in the lane. Danilo got, to me, outside of Trae Young, is our biggest match, in my opinion.
I just thought of something. If we go into the next season just with JC and our draft picks and not much else, do your expectations go up or down?
Mine will go up. Here's why.
Mine will go up
because of what we talked about just a minute ago. We all agree that none of these guys have reached their ceiling, so that means they're gonna do nothing but improve. You know what our biggest enemy is right now?
Overthinking.
No, but that's the one. Love you, Demond, but availability.
Yeah,
that's our number one nemesis right now. Availability, because now if I know how that if word is. If it was a fifth, I'd be drunk. If my mama had a penis, she'd be my daddy. Listen, if we healthy, it's safe to say that was us last night.
Well, let's compare us. Okay, so let's match us up against the Suns, like our roster versus this year's roster of theirs. I mean, do you think we really would have been able to take care of business in that?
Yeah, they're not as deep as us.
Healthy.
Straight up, they're not. Technically, Milwaukee or Phoenix was not as deep as the Atlanta Hawks full healthy. Chris, remember the five things that you need to be a successful franchise? Number 5 is health. Right. And the last 3 years, look how many games we have lost to either whatever you want to call it. And think about how many games we literally have lost in minutes of people not being on the floor. You see what I'm saying? So if you just had Hunter the whole way through, just Hunter, not even Hunter and Cam, but just Hunter all the way through.
Chris, what happened? What happened game 4 then? What happened game 4? Of that last series that
was the game Giannis got hurt, right?
Yes.
That was Trey and Giannis going out. So
that was the game. That was our death nail.
That was the game that we were up.
We were up in that game though. Now I would say this. Some of it, of course, partially is you see your lead dog go down in an injury. Okay. And us being a young team, that was going to affect you in one way or the other. And it did look like you had a little bit of deflation, but we still could have won that game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on. Giannis got hurt. The game Giannis got hurt, we won that game.
No.
The game that killed us was
Game 4
was the game that he was out and we didn't take advantage of it. And
game 4 is the game that we were up that we ended up losing.
Are you sure? What game Giannis got hurt in?
I believe it was the third game, right?
Oh, he got hurt in game 3.
No, he got hurt in game 4.
Was it? I thought it was game 4.
He got hurt in game 4, remember? And
because they kicked our ass in game 3.
Say again?
Yeah, it wasn't game. Yeah, so it was game 4.
Yeah, he got hurt in game 4 because we was winning with Giannis playing. We was actually winning when he got hurt.
Yeah.
We was up 10 when he got hurt. Now,
and
we looked good. We looked like we had solved the puzzle.
Yeah, we ended up tying the series, and then we lost the next 2.
Well, okay. Well, I would say it like this: with Giannis playing as he was playing, and how we were defending him, and how the Bucks were doing their offense at the moment where Giannis wasn't in there, all of a sudden, guess what? Middleton gets the touches. You see what I'm saying? And I swear to God, if that's how we were going to beat them, because how they were playing, we were going to beat them straight up. But as soon as Giannis wasn't in there, you see how the offense changed over. You see what I'm saying? But for us, it was it really was our failing in paying attention to the wrong stuff, and it caught up to us. We got killed because of it. Because again, you had people paying attention to what they didn't need to be paying attention to, and every time they hit the shot, if it wasn't for that, we still might have won that game. But they hit every shot that we had that lapse on every single time, and that's what beat us that game.
Do you think if Nate McMillan plays Cam Reddish that game 4, he seemed like he was reluctant to? Do you think if he would have just thrown him specifically on Middleton, we win that game?
No way he should have been a DMP in that game. I swear to God.
You talking about game 4? We won game 4.
We won game 4. It's game 3.
It might be game 5. I might be conflating game 5. I might be conflating game 4 with game 5.
Yeah, it's game 5. Game 5 who you talking about.
Okay, so it's game 5. All right. So, but yeah, that's what it was. And there's no way if Cam had been in that game on both sides of the ball, but if it was his defensive side of the ball, that wouldn't have happened. What we saw happen, that wouldn't have happened with Cam in the game.
You know what? But Lou, let me tell you what Cam Reddish wasn't going to stop in game 5. Brook Lopez, because that's why we lost. Brook Lopez, what happened,
we were just talking about too,
which you rarely see, man, which was crazy to me, how Giannis, the star player, goes out, but another player steps up, and he almost exactly gave them what Giannis usually chips in, 33, 13, and I think he had a couple assists. And and I believe that game, that's why I was calling. I was like, why we don't have Nathan Knight in there, at least to try to, at least put a body on this guy. Because you know what? I can respectfully take a L to Middleton and Drew, but Brook Lopez for 33 and 13, man. And I know Brook Lopez used to be a baller back in the day. But
he still is, dog. He's still.
But for real, Lou, be honest. Did anybody in this group expect him to go for 30 and 13?
Mostly because he's been averaging barely double digits up to before then. So
and guess what, Chris? Guess what? That was a reaction from Trae Young not playing, because guess what happened in games 1 through 4 before Trae got hurt? They was taking Lopez out of the game
because he wouldn't come up and play him.
Yeah, so guess what?
Who out of all the playoffs did y'all hate the most? Who
wasn't hurt and he plays game 5? Then what's the boy name? Brook Lopez don't go for 33 because he'll be out of the game as usual.
For sure. What player stuck out in this playoffs that you hate the worst? Like it's Hawks.
Man, listen.
Was it Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis? Was it?
I hate all role players that go for career highs against us. So Lopez,
watching the Hawks these years.
Hey, what to do? I'm gonna tell you who else got on my nerves in the Sixers series. That quick not quickly. What's the little Thibault? That Thibault.
Oh yeah, Thibault was bad, but I was gonna say I thought Quickly was gonna be one of those guys for me because
like you know what pisses me off the most, like when the role player come in the game, right? Like Quickly, and they hit like 1-3, and then they just run up and down the court.
I know. Settle down.
What's that?
Well, those 14 points beat us though.
I know.
That he got. We couldn't stop him.
I mean, you're right. I mean, it's nothing we can.
I don't know why Dunn wasn't in the game at that point, but hey, I'm just
What's that 2-guard name for the Knicks? I want to whoop his ass. What's that 2-guard name for the Knicks?
Oh yeah, I know you're talking. Oh, not for the Knicks. I thought you were going to talk about Foster.
The 2-guard for the Knicks.
For the Knicks,
yeah, you talking about Bullock.
Bullock,
yeah.
I punch him in his shit.
Hey, did you see when Reggie Bullock put that? He put that Twitter post said he ready for all the smoke, and then they came to Atlanta and
they got gentlemen swept.
Yeah,
they got gentlemen swept.
I don't know why players post on social media.
Yeah, we had some good posts. We had some good postseason moments. We had some good presser moments. I looked at that Milwaukee presser yesterday, and that shit was hot garbage. They were all terrible personalities. Nobody had any kind of swag to them. When the Hawks were on the podium, they stole the show. Whether it was Trey, JC, Solo, I do like that aspect about our team.
And you know what, Lou? I was just watching Kevin Herter on JJ Reddit podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And
interesting.
Because he had said basically, and it was funny because if you look at our post game conferences, they all every time they went in there, they would sit like this. They just be laid back, like they didn't care. They're like, ugh.
Yeah.
And what Herter said was, he was like, basically, we went out there and just like, because nobody thought we was gonna win anyway. He said we just go out there. He was like, if we lose, no one cares. So so he said they played like with no pressure.
That's what they looked like, man. I was like, man, this is what we always expected. But when you had the Teague teams or the Al Horford teams, they felt the world's pressure on them.
And that's what I wanted to say. I was like, I wanted to make this big point. That team, Al Horford had basically 2 iterations of teams there from when he first started to when he ended. If they were allowed to play as long as they were together, this iteration should be allowed to play together for a little bit and see what they can do. And that's my biggest thing. They deserve and should have the right to play it out and see what they can do. They were 2 games away from the NBA Finals. They won their division this year. They got home court advantage. You know what I'm saying? They did things that those other Hawks teams have not been able to ever do, really.
But you know what,
we won 2 games in the Eastern Conference Finals. Nobody else did that. So why shouldn't this team be allowed to play?
It's all fine and dandy, Chris, but you know good like the rest of us know. It's not that's not what make people move players. It come down to the money, man. I mean, let's be honest. Like with Collins, I'm sure we all would love Collins to stay, but we know it's gonna come down to the money. And we know if we was in Collins' shoes, if somebody offered us 4 years, $150 million or whatever it is, and another team gave us a lower offer, we know we're not gonna take no lower offer. So I mean, it's just the money that just. I hate to say it, the money actually ruins teams because you got to pay these dudes.
Well, and they'll get paid, and it's going to be the later, okay? And again, there's other franchises that have kept their teams together for a period of time long enough to win or lose.
Golden State's been the only one that's
we've not seen it happen here because of previous ownerships. We finally, what are the 5 things to have a great organization? You have to have an owner that wants to win and does what's necessary. You have to have management that makes wise decisions over a long period of time. You have to have a good to great coach, good to great players, and you have to be healthy. And over 35 years, we haven't had a whole lot of that to happen until the last 5. And now we have it, and we need to see what can happen. Wrestlers already said he'll pay the luxury tax. He's a billionaire. He don't care about that. He's going to do what he has to do to try to keep this together as long as he can to see what happens. To break it up in year 1 after getting to the Eastern Conference Finals would be foolery.
But Chris,
year 3, first of all.
I'm just telling
Chris,
you.
that's what. But don't forget, Tony also said we're not gonna be able to keep everybody.
Of course he says that. Of course he says that. I'm not worried about that part though.
I'm more concerned about him hoodwinking the city than I am about him being able to pay all these people.
What you mean hoodwinking the city, Lou? What?
I think the whole time when we were losing and everything was happening, he was out there being I want us to win and I'll do whatever it takes. And now when the money comes up and he's like, we gotta, I gotta make a profit, guys. I hope he doesn't do that shit.
That's because you got to see the Hawks and probably wasn't making him no money those 3 years we was in the lottery. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to remember these sports teams to these billionaires that's not their passion. That's their hobby. You know what I'm saying? So
not all of them. That's not true for everybody now.
But I'm gonna tell you what's true. They all in this business to make money.
Yeah, that's true. But I wouldn't throw the hobby word in there. There's a little bit more than a hobby.
How many owners gonna run a multi-million-dollar organization and you continuously losing money over 3 years? You want to? I
don't know. Sterling did it.
I got to pick back on something Damon has said, and he's hammered this into our head. The only thing that matters is results. If you're winning, that solves everything. When you win games, that's gonna make that owner want to go a little deeper in his wallet to keep winning. We don't got a taste, like Chris was saying. We done got a taste of it now. Hey, I was gonna use another analogy. Use that analogy. I got a nasty mouth. But once you taste something and you get a taste of something, you're gonna
as an owner and as a businessman, did he really get to taste it? Because they didn't really get to have the upgrade in the gate profit at all.
Because of COVID. Because of COVID.
Exactly. So they didn't really get to be like, oh, now we're flushed. Let's do this.
Well, let's be honest. Ain't nobody coming to the first 30 games anyway when he was 14 and 20.
Believe because everywhere he go, when he go on his big board meetings and all that stuff there, when he go rub elbows with the other billionaires, right now he's playing when he. God damn, Tony, you pulled it off. Hey, trust me, he tasting it. Man, the Hawks need to keep that crew together. Like when he says stuff like we can't keep everybody, of course he gonna say that because we're only allotted 3 max contracts. That's what he mean by that. But right now, the first guy that come up with contract, we cannot fumble this. The first guy that come up with contract, we can't fumble that and let that walk. Because we already know one guy that we don't keep. But we can't fumble that and let that guy. I'm gonna venture to say we can't fumble that. And even if we don't let him walk, we pop a sign and trade for him. I'm gonna say it again, and I'm gonna keep harping this. 90% of the games, when John Collins plays well, the Hawks win. 90% of the games when John Collins doesn't play well, the Hawks lose. And we did since March the 2nd, we did a whole hell of a lot more winning than we did losing. Since Nate McMillan had an overall record of it was some crazy 29-12 as our head coach.
35 and he was 35 and 12.
If you count the playoffs, Nate McMillan, what we won
in a 72 game season.
We won 35 and we're going to start the winding down process on the show, but I did want to give Chris the floor here for a second. I believe he's got to depart. And Chris Royster, host of Around the ATL, not only Hawks, he talks Falcons, Braves, even the United and the women's NBA team. What's our women's NBA team name?
Atlanta Dream.
The Dream. So
we know who don't watch WNBA.
It was terrible.
Yeah. That's personal.
But before I go, I want to say thanks for everybody for watching and listening today. But stay tuned for Cam Reddish interview in the near future. We're working out schedule and days and all that kind of good stuff. We're hoping to, after John resigns, to have John back on, because it was about a year ago we had John Collins on the show. And we're still working on Trae Young. Trae, is going to be the hard one as usual, but we get Cam on, I believe we'll get Trae on in due succession. So definitely tune in Around the ATL when y'all get a chance. Follow on Amazon Music now. around the ATL. Just type it in, you'll find it.
And
Awesome.
try to get Herder too, Chris.
Red Mamba, okay, I can do that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. All right, man. Appreciate you stopping by.
Well, take care now.
Yep. And Moses Wright makes another appearance. And it's funny, man, because like I'm a Georgia Tech guy. I went to Georgia Tech, love Georgia Tech sports. And I just don't see why I don't see what you see in Moses Wright. Like I think he's gonna be I think he has a chance to be an NBA basketball.
It's simple what I see him. He was the most dominant guy in probably one of the most dominant conferences in college basketball.
But how did he dominate?
Huh?
But how did he dominate?
What you mean?
There's a difference. If he just dominated with points and stats, then he's not doing it in skills, then he's not going to get drafted.
Okay, all right. They said that about Giannis, didn't they?
No.
No.
They didn't know shit about
Very
Giannis.
skillful.
No, that's
They
why
didn't know
Giannis.
shit.
That's why Giannis got drafted like 14.
No, 17 or 16.
He got drafted 17 because
It was top 20. I know that much.
It was 16 teams that slipped on him.
Mm.
I mean,
Who's the
let's be
number one pick?
honest. Let's be honest.
Yeah, he'll
though. You
definitely
look
get a
at
chance invite, but
You look at Giannis as a rookie, you be like, I mean,
Uh-huh.
it's not like he's standing out like.
he looked like one of your boys, but just taller.
You be like,
Who was the number one overall pick in the Giannis draft?
Somebody good. It was like 2016. Somebody good definitely went in the
16
or 14. It could have been the 14th back. The 2014.
Yeah, because he's been in 7 years now, right? No, Giannis pushing 9 years, right?
No, 7. I think you're right.
Giannis came in the 14 draft, right?
14? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
14.
remember.
Dennis Schroeder, who's the number one overall pick?
Here, let me hit this and I'll tell you in 2 seconds. Yeah, and our other sponsor, Flickwick. That's what Mike's set up. All right, guys. Hey, pretty soon, man. Look, we're here. This is pretty soon. We're gonna give you a little snippet of what the show is gonna be like when I'm gonna get these guys some better cameras and microphones, or at least get Chauncey to unwrap his old camera and set it up. It's gonna be y'all two just battling undisputed style on different NPC topics and around the NBA. What do y'all think about that? Y'all excited?
We need a moderator, bro.
Yeah.
You need a prettier one than me too. I'm just the producer, so if y'all got a pretty girl in mind, let me know.
We
Or
need
guy.
somebody who can mute Chauncey when I'm talking.
If I'm
Because he's
allowed
trying
to
to talk over me.
If I'm allowed to talk, then yeah, I guess.
Well, we want y'all to. What I'm going to try to do is break it down to where it'll be a topic, and y'all both get your chance to just say your points, and then you get a chance to kind of counteract the points. So we'll make it where it's at least watchable for the people. It's not just y'all two yelling at each other.
I ain't gonna cuss. I won't cuss. Yes, but not disrespectfully cuss.
Yeah, y'all gonna need a timer too.
Yeah. Yeah. The mute button gonna get hit on me because soon as he say something utterly ridiculous, I'm gonna lose my shit, and you know it.
It's the filibuster, actually.
Yeah, that's exactly because he always loses shit when I'm correct. That's why when I be right.
I got a real question though. Just going into this, who do you think's changed each other's minds more, Chauncey or on Damon, or Damon on Chauncey?
I don't think it's really no change. I don't think none of us change because me and Chauncey, if you listen when me and Chauncey talk, we actually agree on 90% of the shit we go back and forth on anyway. You know what I'm saying? We just say shit our different ways. We got different ways of getting to the goal. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like,
I agree.
I think our biggest one was when me and him was going back and forth that day. We re-signed Kent Bazemore, and that motherfucker was going out there, and that motherfucker put up 0 points. and I was on Bazemore ass and Chauncey. Every time I make a video, here come Chauncey. Stay out of his pockets. Stay out of his pockets. He gonna be somebody. I was like, is this dude, bro? That was when I was still in the army, dog. That's how old that shit is.
Oh, me. No, man, at the end of the day, man, first of all, you got two stubborn individuals. So ain't nobody going to change nobody's mind. Look, hey, I always tell people, damn it, I'm right when I'm wrong. So, but no, I mean, at the end of the day, we both make valid points. Shit.
But I will. Oh, my bad, Chauncey. I just want to say something real quick, Chauncey.
We both make valid points. But here's the one thing that we can both identify with. Man, we are thirsty. We two thirsty individuals for this team to get it right and win the title. Yeah, we're gonna butt head on certain issues.
and that just because we two alpha males. When you got two alpha males, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna get a whole lot of spontaneous combustion.
And them Falcons too. Shit, they need to do something, guys.
Oh God, please don't.
Now
please.
that's something me and Chauncey do agree on. We do agree that Matt Ryan, everything shouldn't be on Matt Ryan. We do agree on that.
That's true. I do agree on that.
No,
They blame Matt Ryan for every goddamn thing in Atlanta, bro.
I'd be like, good God Almighty, like man, we had such a major meltdown over in my other group yesterday. It was like we had a major meltdown over there. We had guys threatening each other, talking about meeting each other in the streets. I
saw that, man.
Look, man, motherfuckers was, MF was calling my phone, telling me, hey, man, that dude got me effed up. And then I answer the phone, other dude, that dude got me effed up. I said, let me tell y'all cats something, man. Hey, if you got an issue with him, you need to call him. And
because at first I thought they was talking about you at first, because I tapped in after you'd already started. I seen them say Chauncey. Somebody said Chauncey.
No, I had
somebody said chill with the threats or some shit. I was like, what the hell going on there?
No, the threats was between, I ain't gonna do no name dropping, but the threats wasn't with me. It was with another guy, with a couple more guys. And my whole issue was I'm not running a freaking kindergarten here. Okay. Like, listen, y'all gonna learn how to respect each other's opinion, not just block each other. We're not finna do all that. We're not finna do all that around here. And you guys who are anti-Matt Ryan, y'all can't make the pro-Matt Ryan guys feel uncomfortable because y'all anti-Matt Ryan, and y'all guys who are pro-Matt Ryan can't make the anti-Matt Ryan guys feel uncomfortable because y'all pro-Matt Ryan. We grown men and women up here. We're not finna do all that. You know what I mean? So y'all need to chill with all that. I had to put out a fire, but when they start calling me personally, I'm like, look, dog. I had to tell one dude, I say, man, make your next move your best move, bro.
Yeah, that was wild, bro. I never seen
that type of way like that, if it done got next to you like that, and you really feeling like that, then, bro, ain't much I can say to you anyway. So, hey, man, make your next move your best move. I'm just saying, think about its consequence to everybody's action. It got that deep yesterday. So,
Lou, you don't want to be in that drama, man.
No, I'll try to avoid that, but let's go back into this. The question you had asked is who else was drafted at that draft. So in the first round, we had Anthony Bennett by Cleveland.
Boy.
The next one was Orlando, and they got Victor Oladipo. He was a decent player, not a bad pick. Washington Wizards, Otto Porter Jr. The Bobcats, Cody Zeller. That was a Michael Jordan thing, wasn't it?
Oh God!
It's always hell yeah. Michael Jordan don't know what the hell he doing, bro.
Oh God! Keep going. Right.
Oh, you're gonna love this one, Alex Len.
Oh God!
Hey, he was decent for us though.
Alex Len.
He was decent. I mean, he was.
Then Philly got. This is part of the process actually. Here, this is Nerlens Noel. I remember that. Then Ben McLemore. Wow. Not to be confused with the white dude, the other McLemore dude. There's Detroit Pistons guy KCP from Georgia. Not bad.
That wasn't bad. That wasn't a bad pick at that where he got picked at.
No, Trey Burke. I thought this was the steal of the draft right here. All right, that guy he was so awesome for a second.
He didn't he played pretty good in the playoffs last year. That's the dude. He played with Dallas last year, didn't he?
He's making a resurgence.
I think he played with Dallas in the playoffs last year, and they signed him to like a 2-year deal.
Oh, that's interesting. Then we have CJ McCollum, good pick. Lehigh, small school. Then we have Philly again. God, they blew it this draft. Michael Carter Williams. The hell are you drafting another point guard for?
Hey, he was rookie of the year, right? He won rookie of the year that year, and then they traded him.
Yeah, it's part of the process. Steven Adams, OKC. That was a slick pick. They've always been good at picking drafts.
That wasn't bad.
Kelly Olynyk, not bad. Shabazz Muhammad, I expected more from him. He didn't do nothing. Milwaukee Bucks. It says here, the youngest player in the draft has tremendous potential, but there's not a lot known about him. Antetokounmpo may stay in Greece as a typical for Greek players for a few years. He has a great wingspan and is a very smooth athlete. He already has shown great handles and reminds Scout of who? Nicholas Batum. That's so funny. The Bucks could use help on the wings. But this pick is one for the future, possibly even 3 or 4 years down the road. Huh. Then we got Lucas. Oh my God! And that man, our whole goal was to get Giannis and Dennis Schroeder that year, and they fucked us.
And we got the wrong one.
We got the wrong big one. But no, we had it. We probably didn't have any backup because we thought nobody knew about this guy, and we just had one on the board there, and we messed that all up. Damn, that's
We
foul.
didn't mess it up. We just didn't. We just didn't get proactive. We chose to be reactive instead of proactive. If you knew that snake, if you knew Larry Drew, listen. Whether you knew he was a snake or not, okay, he's no longer with us. And then he got hired by Milwaukee. Oh no, we got to jump in front of Milwaukee. Holmes already know what we trying to do. I'm jumping in front of Milwaukee.
Oh, how about this? How about we just keep him as the coach until the season ends, then fire him after the draft?
Right?
Yeah.
Because you know what's so fucked up about that, though? Is that he didn't even go to Milwaukee to be the coach. He wanted to be an assistant and still snitched. Still gave up the goods as an assistant. I could understand if he was the head coach over there.
I thought he was. He wasn't even
he was the assistant, and old buddy got fired. I think Kid was the coach.
He was Kid's assistant.
Yeah, and then Kid got fired. Then he took over. So he went over there and just gave up everything.
I thought Kid taught or not taught, but coached Giannis.
He did. He coached him the first 2 years. They had Jared Dudley, the first 2 years. Then Kid got fired.
Man,
right
now, Kid is on the hot seat right now because he's
gonna
get out of Luka Doncic. He can't get alone.
Oh no, they gonna make that shit work, bro.
I think he's gonna make KP work. I mean,
be honest though. Put yourself in his position. If you got Luka and KP, and you go there as the new head coach, you don't want to give up KP. You want to see what you could do with him first.
Is this his last? Is this his last chance as a head coach for Jason Kidd?
Hell no. I mean, come on, man. All these coaches
might be. I think this
might
be.
What about this, Lou? Here's a question: when the last time the NBA hired a brand new coach that wasn't already in the NBA?
The Atlanta Hawks.
We just recycle coaches. No, that wasn't already in the NBA. The position.
The NBA does do that. I mean, I think the Lakers did a few times when they.
That was in Phoenix before Monty Williams.
No, I thought you took him. I drove mommy truck.
Or the guy who Cleveland fired the year that they won the title.
Yeah.
Oh, the year
it rarely happens. They recycle a lot. What Mike Brown, but that's happening less and less. I think people are less likely to take chances because what they know is that if you can't build the locker room, then you're not gonna. No matter how good you are as a basketball player, you're not gonna be able to get it done. Like being able to build a locker room is half now of the battle.
How about how coincidental it is that every head coach hired in the offseason were African American coaches?
Oh, that's nice.
Y'all see that, bro?
I mean, that's not really
wrong.
That's how it really should.
We had one guy. Carlisle took.
That's what I was thinking of, David Black.
Yeah. Took the job, but every other hire are African Americans. Let's see how many of those guys in 3 years still had a job.
It depends on what teams they went to.
The guy in Orlando, let's pray for him now.
Yeah, he ain't, bruh. He done for, because the funny part is, for some reason, as fans, even though we know the team is in a rebuild mode, it's like we still expect some type of results. Like, how come we not in the playoffs? And you'd be like, well, because we stink. You know what I'm saying? But for some reason, we still expect this team to do stuff. That's how fans is, you know.
I'm gonna tell you something I started hearing a lot during the playoffs. How you're going to see in the future a bunch of teams.
Hold on, I'm gonna have to mute you so Shanti can talk. That's why y'all need mics. But go ahead.
Shanti. Yeah. How many teams are going to be following the Atlanta Hawks blueprint? Like the blueprint. That's why we can't give up. That's why we cannot give him up. Teams are actually looking at our. They I guess because we quote unquote followed our Golden States, but you got it took. Look, man, it took 6 years after they drafted Steph.
Yeah.
It took them. Man, we did this in basically. If you count when we started with John, this year 4 and we in the finals, conference finals.
Yeah. No, I mean it's not.
Yeah.
It's not a bad look for the Hawks organization. But this is probably one of the most crucial offseason that the Hawks have had in decades, really. I mean,
Travis Slink,
easy in decades.
Slink, I am sorry, Travis Slink.
Did you?
You are no longer sliced bread.
Did you doubt it?
I am sorry.
I had a hard time believing that we would find a better GM than Danny Ferry. I thought Danny Ferry came in with the vision, had a mindset, knew the coaches. I thought that was the best that we would get. And then when he left, I was really down. But Travis Schlenk has come in and brought a just such a fresh approach and a good understanding of modern basketball. Like he's not trying to push anything. Like it's just, let's get these guys, these skill sets, let's put them together. I love it.
And you know what, Lou, since you brought him up, hey, that little short time Danny Ferry was there, him and his staff, they did some amazing work. I mean, they pulled off the Millsap core over here. He didn't really
get him together.
Yeah, he didn't really have time to really get his feet in with some young talent through the draft, but he put us in a position to make the playoffs. So I mean, that was pretty good. It sucked that one of the owners set him up. Like I never seen that before in my whole life.
Right?
But
Lou, boy, that the Lou, that damn boy was how they got down Slink. He said Slink full of shit. He doesn't trick us.
Oh yeah, about the Trey thing. Dude, I'm not gonna.
No, not about the Trey thing. I said that when he first got here, because if you go back at his very first press conference, he said he's here and we will compete. He didn't say it's gonna take us 6 years.
He said we were doing a mini rebuild. Boy, that had them on hot.
Yeah,
I was like, what is that? And guess what he did next? That's when he traded Dwight Howard. We're done. We're going to the lottery.
Yeah.
But and that's when I figured out that motherfucker just be lying half the time. Anything he said in public, he lying.
Do the opposite.
I'm out. I'm gonna holler at y'all, dog.
All right, y'all. Yeah, and it's probably it's a good time to kind of wrap it up. Anybody got anything else to add to the Chauncey, Damon? It's been a pleasure.
I'm
Go ahead.
And after watching Milwaukee last night, it gave me hope. It gave me hope because I saw how we competed against them. Phoenix had a defeated look last night. We never looked defeated. We was just more so like, we know all we got to do is just hold on. We had a hold on look. We got to hold on. We got to hold on till we break through. Our team has a lot of promise. I see a 3 to 5 year run with us where we are no less than conference finals, and our ceiling, of course, is to win an NBA title. I'm predicting 2 NBA titles, and the only reason why I'm only predicting 2 because of all this shifting and moving and all this shit here, and there are a bunch of good freaking teams out there, man. And remember, I said this: the East is gonna rise again. Just the emergence of us has made the East a little more formidable. And then you got to throw the Knicks in there too, because the Knicks shocked a lot of people. So it's not going to be, the NBA ain't going to be West heavy as much as it has been in the last 15, 20 years. That's all I got, man.
I definitely agree with that. Thanks, Chauncey. And with that said, thanks for sticking around and watching the show, your favorite Hawks HoopCast. We'll be doing it once a week throughout the off season, during the summer leagues, during regular season, preseason, playoffs. We're going to be here, and we'll try to get some more content thrown in between as we see fit. But like I said, thanks again. Like, share, subscribe. That really helps us out. We got a YouTube page you can go to. There's a Facebook page. Definitely stick in the group. All the alerts and announcements will be in the group. We'll definitely try to pull some of y'all in here as we get more familiar with this whole process. We'll pull more guys in from the group that are pretty prominent to get their opinion, and you can see their pretty faces. And we'll keep it moving. Like I said, this is a Hawks independent Hawks information takeover. You can be a part of it. We see a lot of the same people coming in and out, and we're just going to build from there. So special thanks again to the originative brand, Arc Alien Designs, and Flickwick. Make sure you visit those guys and keep up with your boys. Cheers.